You're selling barbecue out of a gas station unless it's really good. Bring a friend, bring your appetite. 3BayBarbecueAndBakery.com.
What have we learned about Heidi?
But cockroaches were the least of her problems. Heidi had to fight for every opportunity.
You know, Heidi is, even though she's very kind of sweet and innocent,
Heidi wanted out of the slum, and her agent wasn't doing enough.
Oh my God, they moved Heidi right next to me now.
Although Heidi seems serene,
she's a bit naughty.
she uses an ancient folk remedy to help calm her down.
Heidi is back.
Happy Thursday, everybody. The gang is back together again. Heidi Glaus, Josh Gilbert, Bob Ramsey, and we have got a lot to get to. Coming up at 3:30, Max Voisey is going to join us, and I'm really excited about our topic today because we're talking about musician movies. I think this is one of my favorite categories. I loved Walk the Line. What was Timothy Chalamet's most recent?
Bob Dylan.
But what was the name of the? Complete Unknown.
Complete Unknown.
Thought that was fun. Of course, Song Sung Blue, probably my favorite movie of the year so far.
Really?
So we'll go through some of those movies, and of course, we want you to weigh in on the KTRS text line 84126.
Now, I don't know. I think I have to clarify with Max before he gets in here. Are we doing actual musician biopics? Biopic? Or are we doing the fake ones?
I think we're doing the real ones.
The real ones.
In my text message with him, and maybe we'll do the
Like
fake ones
biographies.
later.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or at least stories about real. I mean, you got Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many. Elton John's, what was the name of that movie a couple
Rocket
years
Man.
ago? Rocket Man.
I feel like, was it the Johnny Cash? It was Johnny Cash and
Walk
Ray.
the Line.
And then everybody was like, hey, this is great. And then they started picking everybody.
Well, no, I think
The
it goes
Bruce
back further than
Springsteen
that.
one.
Well, you got Coal Miner's Daughter way back when.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is a genre that I think
La
has been
Bamba.
around for a long time.
Bamba,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
who's-
so many great ones.
Who's the crazy guy who did Buddy Holly?
Gary Busey.
Gary Busey.
He was good, though. He was really
he
good
was
in that.
really good.
Yeah.
Well, and if you think about it, all those that we just, how about What's Love Got to Do with It?
Well, yeah.
Tina Turner, a lot of great performances, and a lot of people were nominated for awards thanks to those performances. So we're talking about that with Max coming up at 3:30. We'll also check in with Jordana Miller, who is in Jerusalem. The Board of Peace met today. What came out of that, if anything? We'll talk to her. In the 4 o'clock, this is going to be really interesting. And maybe you saw the story on CBS Sunday Morning a couple of weeks ago. But Christine Kuhn is the author of Family of Spies, a World War II story of Nazi espionage, betrayal, and the secret history behind Pearl Harbor. The story is amazing. She was actually shielded from her family history for years. And the way she eventually found out is a little bit shocking. So I can't wait to find out why she wanted to write this story in the beginning, especially when it was something that was so hidden for so long.
Let me be a typical radio guy.
Yes.
Do we have that book here? Josh?
I might have a copy,
Yeah.
Okay.
actually.
But
I'm looking for free stuff. No,
Yeah.
that fascinates me.
well,
I
listen to
can't
this.
wait.
Her grandfather was the only person tried and convicted for the bombing of Pearl Harbor. So,
And I don't think she even knew about it.
no. So this is a really
He was
fascinating
American?
story.
He was
Ger-
German
German,
living
yes.
in
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Oh, Keen, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's coming up at 4:20. In
It's
the
a really great story, Bob.
5 o'clock.
wait.
Yeah. We'll talk to News Nation law and justice contributor. The search for Nancy Guthrie has actually now crossed over to Mexico. So a couple of questions there. Is this because of a tip? Is it just proximity? Is there any chance that has to do with the Mexican cartel? She's an expert in this, so we'll get her take on all of that. We'll also check in with Royal Oaks. Former Prince Andrew was arrested earlier today. And so is this the first time a royal has ever been arrested? Or is there another?
That's what they're saying.
But is it a technicality?
Because he's not a royal anymore. Yeah.
You're the royal guy.
I think it counts.
It counts?
Okay. It's the king's brother. It's the queen's son.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
Favorite
old
son,
king's...
a lot of people would say.
Yeah, yes. I mean, he's got a big personality, but that has led him into a lot of really terrible paths.
Well, and will Sarah Ferguson now be arrested along with it? There's so many things. I know several of her companies that she had ties to has now completely closed up shop. So this story just kind of gets more and more
and to
intense.
Say it's the first royal to ever be arrested. They've cut the head off of a couple of royals.
I was going to say,
in the past.
maybe we should say modern day.
Let's call that short haircut.
Yes, modern day. Maybe, apprehended by the police and not the mob. Bob.
Very interesting. We got some other entertainment news, and then we'll wrap this show up with some randoms. Spoiler alert. If you're recording the Olympics, turn down the volume for 1 second.
I mean, it's everywhere at this point.
It doesn't matter.
But some people,
They record it, and
they go
I
in a
have
cocoon.
friends who never watch a sporting event live. They always
Really?
watch it recorded. And so we have this thing that we can't text.
And they get
We
away
can't
with
talk.
this?
Yes, because we all know the rules. But USA women's hockey just won gold in overtime. And the Fulton School in Chesterfield was cheering on a recent grad there. How cool is that? They called today a day of joy in honor of Joy Dunn, a 2023 graduate who was competing on the team. So congratulations. As I always say, there's always a St. Louis connection. And so congratulations to Joy Dunn.
Yeah, overtime game, and the winning goal in overtime was spectacular.
Yeah, it was
1-on-1, and then beat the goalie with a backhand. I believe that was Keller that scored, I think.
well, and it was kind of crazy. It was all Canada for most of the
For
game.
the last 2 minutes.
2 minutes, and then USA tied it up, and then, of course, won in OT 2-1. All right, you guys can turn back up your volume now. That's the.
They can't hear you. They've turned it down.
I'm giving them time.
They'll check in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm giving them time.
we're done talking.
Yeah. So, Bob,
back.
Yes.
I know and you'll give us the Rammers Billiken report coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. A rough loss, but did you get to do anything fun? You were in Newport, Rhode Island. It's a beautiful area. Tell us about the other stuff.
I had because I've eaten there before, clam chowder.
Oh.
Fresh.
So good.
Oh, doctor. Mm-hmm. Forget, I won't eat it anywhere else. I'm becoming one of those snobs.
Yeah. Once you have it and it's that good,
At
it
the real
ruins
place,
it. Yep.
Yeah. So no more, but it was so good. I had 3 days, 3 bowls.
Oh, yeah.
It was very, very good. And then driving around and see the opulent mansions.
The Breakers.
The Breakers. And
We took a tour of that years ago, and it still is like in my memory. It was just so fantastic.
going by Jay Leno's house.
Jay Leno? Oh, I didn't know Jay Leno was over there.
I-
You get a house in there.
A for effort, but kind of a C on delivery. Right? I don't think that's too harsh.
Yeah. Taylor Swift's got a big mansion.
Yeah.
there.
Oh, wow.
And the day of the game, shoot around, we practiced at a high school. It's not like going to Pattonville or Rittner.
It's crazy.
It was a boarding school.
Whoa. Yeah, I've read about those.
They almost didn't let me in. Wait a minute. You went to public school? No. And they had to talk about it. And very fancy.
Yeah.
Very fancy.
It's just a cool, I think, city with the cobblestone and
Yeah.
some of the old bars and restaurants. It's a great vibe, I thought.
I think so too. The only bad part is you can't get anything late. At this time of year,
Yeah.
everything closes down by 10 at the latest. so you can't get anything late. But the pubs and the restaurants all along the wharfs, really, really good. And then, you know me, they've got a little ballpark right in downtown where for those who don't know, there's the Cape Cod League that is for college-aged baseball players to play wood bat baseball.
I did not know
scouted.
that.
It's been going on for a long, long time. So they have a Cape Cod League team there, and it's a cool little old ballpark. So just little things like that I really like.
Yeah.
It was good.
Was it St. George's School?
Yes.
College preparatory boarding school?
Yes. And then you go look, and there's a banner of the league, and it's a lot of schools with hyphens and
Of course.
stuff like that. Really hoity-toity.
Eaton and Exeter.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
All these names. This is a world that I will never experience.
Well, like I said, they let me into the gym,
Yeah.
but followed me everywhere I went.
But do people still send their kids away to boarding school? That
Well,
seems
they
like
were open for business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there
was
were
gonna-
kids there?
We have a boarding school or two here, and I know there were a couple of guys from New Madrid who came up here and went to Chaminade and were boarded. there.
Really?
Yeah, so that's a yes.
Oh my goodness! And I knew Country Day, MICDS, whatever it was back then, used to take in boarders. Maybe they still do.
I'm sure that there are, and then is it Thomas Jefferson School? There's another.
Oh,
there
yeah,
is
man.
By
a
my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Sunset Hills.
There's I mean, that's a fantastic school, but I know they come from all over. So yes,
Very
is
interesting.
your answer
Yeah,
there.
the Jefferson schools, top notch.
Now, the people sending their kids to those schools probably don't have to pinch pennies, but we often talk about ways to save money. A lot of those streaming subscriptions that we forget about, whether it is Amazon or maybe those in-app purchases that you're all of a sudden it just pops up and it's another $6, or maybe it's a magazine. But according to a new report, you might not realize what your car and the annual cost of just owning a vehicle is. They say now just the annual cost of owning a vehicle is about $4,565. That's not including the payment. That is just
Annual is 4,000.
Yes.
How much?
$4,565 dollars.
Gosh.
So the average price of a new car has hit a record of right at $50,000. Hit that record last year, which of course, that's just the beginning. Then
Are they counting your car payment
they're saying outside of loan lease payments.
outside of payments?
Yeah.
It's $4,000.
So you guys know my dad was a mechanic, and he would always harp on me. Well, it's just I need gas. Yeah. Well, what about the upkeep and tires?
right.
And he made a point that it's not just putting gas and oil in your car.
No, you got to stay on top of
There's an
things.
expense.
Right. Gas and insurance are the biggest cost. You've got about $1,900 for gas a year, and that depends on your commute. If you go further than that,
Right.
that's going to go up. Insurance, about $1,700. And then you've got the other major annual expenses, the maintenance, the service and repairs. If you have tires, chances are you're going to have a flat tire or need to put, a patch or replace a tire. And then you got
if you get a set of tires, that's minimum,
Yeah.
600, maybe 1,000
depending on
today?
Yeah.
It blows the budget right there.
Right. You've got auto parts, you've got accessories, and then depending on where you live, you've got toll fees and different things like that. We're not even talking about parking here.
Oil changes these days are $125.
Yeah. And hopefully you don't have too many speeding tickets, because then that adds up. Car washes, that's where I end up spending quite a bit of money.
So
I would say of all those things, that might be the most economical thing, though.
the car wash?
The car wash.
Well, when you wash your car like me 4 times a year.
How many really? 2 times a year?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a stretch,
Boy,
Josh.
It needs it. It needs it bad.
Well, you're right here by
I know.
a waterways. It is so easy.
$4,500 divided by 12. That's $375 a month. So $375 a month. That's insurance, gas,
Oil
and then all the
and repair.
Other stuff.
other stuff. I can see it now.
Yeah.
I mean, how much is car insurance?
They say about $1,700 a month, depending
A year.
on. I mean, yes, a year. Sorry, and then God forbid you have a teenage boy. That's going to shoot up quite a bit, right?
Try 2 of them.
Uh-huh.
I'm not bitter.
No. Man, kind of crazy as far as
They can pay
that
for their
goes.
own insurance.
Yeah, right.
Here's another question for you, and I want you to weigh in on the KTRS text line 84126. How often do you answer a phone call if it's a number you don't know, if there's not a name attached?
Way too often.
You do answer it.
I'm learning to go less and less and less.
Because you're
Used to be all the
afraid
time. No, I
it's somebody you need, or
somebody's calling.
Yeah.
You're really kind of being
old school.
ignorant.
Old school, probably, because we used to just answer the house phone,
Yeah. Hello.
not having a caller ID.
You know, I've noticed being in the office with Bob that he does answer the phone and he'll go, hello. And then he'll sit there, wait a beat, and then hang it up.
I give him a chance to say hello.
Yeah.
You
And
do.
then, he'll say something like, scammers or
Yeah.
something.
But if they answer, they'll say, how'd you get this number?
Yeah. But on your phone anymore, it
It'll
says
say.
spam alert.
Yeah.
So I'm not picking that up.
I'm learning to just click it off.
Yeah, I think over time and over the years, most people are starting to kind of pass on those numbers that we don't know. You know, because now even it'll say what the shop is. Like if it's Byerly RV calling, it will pop up.
Yeah.
It's not just an unknown number. The whole number recognition is kind of nice.
Did you notice? I got the latest Apple update, and maybe it was always there, and I just didn't notice. Now it's right in front. You open up your phone part of your phone, and there's a big blue button that says, "Do you want to screen your calls?" And I don't know what happens when you push that, but I just made a phone call today, actually calling a listener to tell them that their prize is ready over at HW Kia. And I had it on speakerphone because, of course, and it said, before we connect you with this caller, who can I say is calling and for what purpose? It was like a phone prompt.
Wow.
And I said my
I've
name.
gotten that before.
Yeah, I said Josh Gilbert, KTRS Radio. And then it comes back on and it goes, and what is the purpose of this phone call?
Let me go one step
I said,
further.
I have a prize waiting for you at HW Kia. And then the phone prompt comes back on and goes, this caller's not able to take your call right now.
Wow.
But it doesn't leave a, it asked me to say what my purpose was, but it's not a voicemail. So I ended up having.
Does it come up to them in writing, maybe?
Maybe. And then they say, I don't want to. Oh, it's Josh from Kate. I don't
Or do
wanna
we
talk
just
to you.
assume that you look at your phone and you see that you have a missed call and you call them back instead of,
I don't know, but they hung up on me, and so I texted them and just.
Did they
hey,
respond to that?
No, not yet. I don't know where my phone is, but I've gotten that quite a few times. Well,
Yeah.
what is the purpose? State your purpose of your call. Like, remember when
I
you
just
would,
kind of assume sometimes that's when you're calling an office or a different. I didn't realize that was a.
I think on your personal phone you can do that. But remember when you would call collect and they would say, "Who?"
Oh,
is,
yes.
Say your name.
Right.
Josh, and then say, "Hey, it's Josh. I'm in jail. Come bail me out." And then your parents would,
Try to find out which jail it was.
yeah, not have to pay
guess.
the collect call charges.
Somebody said never unless I recognize the number. Never if it's important. They will leave a message. Our friend Susan. Never if I don't recognize the number. If it's important, they'll leave a message. See? Block and delete. So a lot of people kind of feel the same way.
I'm learning slowly.
Yeah, on that. I mentioned that we are going to talk to Christine Kuhn, the author of Family of Spies. And, if that's the kind of story that you love, you will find so many books at St. Louis County Library. I mean, just shelves and shelves. You could probably keep yourself busy for the next couple of years reading great spy novels, some true, some fiction. But that's just a fraction. I mean, whatever it is that you like to read, whatever genre it is, you'll find it all at St. Louis County Library. I mean, they've got the young adult section. They've got romance. They've got science fiction. They've got books for kids. And we were just talking about how important it is to read to your kids. But that also is just a little piece of what you'll find at the St. Louis County Library. Tonight, there's an author event with Roberts.
Oh yeah, Deborah. Why do we keep? I keep wanting to say Cokie.
And I keep yes.
I love cookies.
I do too.
Anyway, she's going to be there talking about her new book. I saw posts all over social media. That's free. Starts at, I think doors open at 6:00 over at the Clark Family Branch. Of course, that's also Al Roker's wife. She's worked for ABC for years, but she's put together a fun book of things that she's learned and different, talking to different people. So all kinds of author events. You've also got big celebrations for Black History Month. You've got the Emerson History and Genealogy Center. You've got the Teen Creative Lab. I mean, I could go on and on, not to mention the St. Louis County Library of Things, which includes just about everything. So you can learn more at slcl.org.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. When winter hits St. Louis, your furnace doesn't get a day off. And if yours is older, it may be running nonstop and still not keeping you comfortable. Winter has a way of exposing weak links. You're probably paying more and getting less. Or if your home never quite feels warm enough in the winter, your furnace may be telling you something else, especially if it's been around for a while. That's why I want you to call Premier Heating and Cooling. Their technicians go through 5 years of training beyond industry standards. It's Premier standards. Heating your home shouldn't feel like a struggle. Older furnaces work harder and use more energy. If you want lower energy bills and better heat, it's just all around smarter to consider a new furnace. And yes, Premier offers financing, which makes upgrading a whole lot easier. So whether you need a tune-up or you're ready for something new, make your winter a lot more comfortable for your home or your business. Call 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
We sell siding, windows, doors, and decking by the truckload. My name is Julius Krasanik, celebrating 53 years in this business. Our company is Wholesale Siding Depot, and our seasoned customer service group has over 200 years of combined siding, window, door, and decking knowledge. My grandson Elijah says,
"Are you kidding me?"
The brands that we sell are durable, maintenance-free, and energy-saving. Featuring Anderson, CertainTeed, Viwinco, Provia, Masonite, TimberTech, and others. Offering the best selection of styles and colors available in this industry. And better yet, our prices are wholesale every day. Last, our Peace of Mind initiative also includes a free contractor referral service to take care of your installation concerns or needs. You are just one click away from keeping it local, family, and professional. Please visit WSDepot.com. That's WSDepot.com.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Jefferson's Doorship, the Runaway Again Tour. Saturday, September 26th, the Family Arena. Also featuring Atlanta Rhythm Section, Firefall, and Orleans. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Jefferson's Doorship, featuring Atlanta Rhythm Section, Firefall, and Orleans.
I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I want to buy your home. Any property, any condition, and always as is. I will pay top dollar with no contingencies and no inspections. You walk away with cash. So don't waste time and money making repairs and paying real estate commissions. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. Or go to robangproperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
Mom, what do you always say?
There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer.
That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newssetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It is 3:34 and time to check in with Captain Paul. How's traffic moving?
Well, Heidi, there's an accident on the 170 South ramp to 64 with traffic backed up to Ladue Road. 64 East is jammed from the Poplar Street Bridge past 5570 to St. Clair Avenue. That's due to a lane closure for road work between 15th Street and 25th Street in East St. Louis. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
And now, KTRS weather.
Ken Scott with your first alert forecast. We're tracking highs towards the lower 70s. Going to be issued a first alert weather day as we're going to be tracking the potential for strong to severe storms from 11 a.m. all the way through 6 p.m. That'll push off to the east. Then as we head off into this upcoming weekend, temperatures will continue to cool back down. Talking highs mid-40s Saturday, upper 30s into Sunday, then a rebound into next week. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chance Koch for the Big 550 KTRS.
What's on at the movies? What's on at the movies? And now, it's Max on Movies on the Heidi Glaus Show. Here is KTRS's very own movie guru, Max Boise on the Big 550, the movie talk of St. Louis.
I have to say, Song Sung Blue, probably my favorite movie of the year. But there are a lot of great movies about musicians. Max Foisey is back with a list. I'm so excited about this. I was saying before you got in, I think these are some of my favorite movies.
And why do you think that is?
I love music. And I love the backstory and how did they get there? And there's just so many of them. Walk the Line, right? What's love got to do with it? There's also so many other stories that go along with it, not just the making of the music. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Heidi and Bob and Josh, thanks very much for having me on. When Josh and I were brainstorming about what to do this week, my first thought was to do fictional bands in movies because there's a lot of great funny ones, and I think we'll do that maybe next week because we should start with the actual bands first. But I agree with you. I also love music, and I love learning everything I can about the creative process, the people behind these songs. When VH1 was doing behind the music, it did not matter to me
who it was.
No,
I'm
not
with
at
you.
all. I would watch it if it was Tiffany or Crowded House or Motley Crue. Did not matter because I wanted to see who these people were. And I saw some incredible episodes from bands I would never listen to. And I think you can kind of do that with some of these movies. If you haven't heard of the band, it's still worth watching who these people were, how they came up in the industry, and how their music, even if it wasn't your music, affected other people. So
absolutely.
I agree. These are fantastic movies. I've also, this is a bit geeky, I've gone down Wikipedia rabbit holes on bands that I do not care about. I've read about the release of the 5th album from this band that I will never listen to, and I'm like, that's interesting. And they're like, the producer said they couldn't put track 2 on. I'm like, that's crazy, and I don't care about the band.
That's hilarious.
But it's fascinating, and it's a fascinating industry, I think.
It is.
I mean, I started thinking about this, and I just kept going, movie after movie there are so many.
I kind of shook my head when you said there are many great movies because there are too many great movies.
Yes.
And we could I'm sure all of us would have 10 at the top of our heads right now. We could roll off right now. But I wanted to start with some obscure ones.
Okay.
There's probably one on here that everybody's seen. The rest of them are a little more obscure. But the first one I'll start with is this small English film called 24-Hour Party People. And this is about the Manchester scene in Manchester, England, which was a very pill-heavy sort of techno house music.
Okay.
Bands like Primal Scream and bands like, I think, latter era New Order. You also had a band called the Happy Mondays that came out of that scene. And I like a lot of those bands. I love the Happy Mondays. And so I couldn't believe they made this movie because it seems so niche. But it turns out in England, this was a big component of pop radio. People knew these artists. And so they made this movie about the club promoter and how he got these bands, how he kind of broke those bands. And the main actor who plays the person who ran this club is an English actor named Steve Coogan, who I think you guys know.
Yeah.
And earlier this year, I had a chance to talk to Steve Coogan about some other movie called The Penguin Lessons that he was doing. But I had to bring this movie up because I said I loved those bands, and I couldn't believe that you were playing this role. And he said, Max, let me tell you, when he was a younger person, he went to that club to listen to those bands. And then years later, he's playing the guy that created
How about that?
And he said he couldn't believe it, that he was, he would go to that club. Which is crazy. So that's a really good one I would recommend. Another one is about Ian Curtis, who is the singer and primary songwriter of, I mentioned New Order, but the band before New Order was called Joy Division. And they were a really important post-punk band that kind of ushered in gothic elements to rock music. And they were really, really influential. One of these bands that only released 2 records, and then he unfortunately hung himself. And the rest of the band didn't know what to do. They carried on without him and became the band New Order, which, fun fact, one of Martin Kilcoyne's favorite bands. I was surprised when I heard that. But this movie is called Control. And it's about the life of Ian Curtis. And Sam Riley plays him. He's a really great Irish actor, I think. And it's all in black and white. It was directed by Anton Corbijn, who has shot a lot of the album covers for U2. If you guys know the Joshua Tree, that is Anton Corbijn's work. And so he brings that wonderful black and white imagery to this movie. So the first 2, a little under the radar, 24-Hour Party People and Control.
Okay. I was thinking too, but then I don't know. Do you remember the movie Once from 2006?
Yes.
Was that do we count that? That's a fictional.
Yeah. They had written songs and they had performed, but I think the story was fictional.
Okay.
And then after that, they continued to perform together in the whole Broadway play.
Which was fantastic as well.
That director, John Carney, no relation to our John Carney, is a wonderful director of films about music. He also did Sing Street, which is incredible, and Begin Again with Keira Knightley and Mark Ruffalo, which is a wonderful love letter to music. The next one is the one that everybody's seen, but it had to be on the list because it's a wonderful look behind the curtain of what was really going on with these gigantic stars, and also kind of revitalized the career of the person that it was focusing on, and that is What's Love Got to Do with It?
So good. And Angela Bassett's arms.
Angela Bassett is incredible as Tina Turner.
She's great.
And Lawrence Fishburne, who we all love Larry Fishburne, he's terrifying as a really, really evil Ike Turner.
You know, so I went to see Eternal, the Tina Turner tribute at the Symphony on Sunday night with Brittany Howard. She only did one song, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. Simply the Best, but it was simply the best.
I bet. Did you see Alabama Shakes at Lou Fest?
I did.
Yeah,
good.
I was there too. It was very good.
But they were also kind of telling the story of Tina Turner. And when they mentioned Ike, the whole crowd just kind of, it wasn't a boo, but it was kind of like a, it was just interesting.
And that all comes from this movie.
Yeah.
It's not like people outside of that circle really understood how abusive he was. They knew that she left him. They knew that she was a solo artist, but it really wasn't until that movie that really showed everybody, here's what she overcame. It's a great movie, great cast, and wonderful music.
It really is. Yeah, that's one I think I need to rewatch.
It's a great, great film. Another one that focuses on the first ever all-female punk rock band.
So good.
And this is one that nobody besides Heidi and myself have seen this, but it's got Dakota Fanning. And
I got it pulled up here. I love it. It was on my list.
Is it on your list?
Yeah.
It's got Kristen Stewart as
That's because you love Joan Jett.
I love Joan Jett.
Yeah.
Well, and how much does Kristen Stewart look like Joan Joan Jett. The very last scene when she's got the sort of purple jacket on from the cover looks just like her.
Just like her.
This movie is called The Runaways, and I had the chance to talk to Cherie Curry when
Did
it
you
came
really?
out. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
Because it's based on her book Neon Angel, which talks about this whole thing with the promoter guy and how they all got together. And so the movie is based on her book, and I got a chance to talk to her about it. She said it was pretty accurate as far as there's some liberties here and there, but you have to do that. But she was very complimentary of it.
Well, just for folks who don't know, and maybe you don't love Joan Jett, but as you point out, sometimes you go see something and it gives you a different kind of appreciation.
Absolutely.
But listen to the cast, and most of them weren't stars yet. Kristen Stewart, Dakota Fanning, Michael Shannon,
I forgot Michael
Riley
Shannon.
Keough, Tatum O'Neal. I mean, it's really pretty good.
Yeah.
It's called The Runaways, and it absolutely is a wonderful music biopic and tells you about, they were so huge overseas, especially in Japan. I mean, that's a joke, but they were gigantic over there. And band members, not just Joan Jett, but Cherie Curry had a career.
Lita Ford had a good
Lita
career.
Ford,
Lita Ford
yeah.
is still tour. She was just in St. Louis.
Yeah.
So The Runaways is on my list as well. 2 more for you. Let's take it back, because these are all contemporary. So let's take it way, way, way back with a movie that I think Heidi just saw at the Symphony. I think he might have gone to see, unless I'm getting my hosts mixed up. Did you go see Amadeus?
Oh, I did not,
Oh,
but
did you? Okay,
I think that is fantastic.
Amadeus, which of course is the Milos Forman film, and it's got F. Murray Abraham is fantastic in that. Tom Hulce is wonderful in that. My kid knows Tom Hulce from being the voice of the Hunchback of Notre Dame in the Disney version. Every time we watch it, I'm like, that's Amadeus, but he hasn't watched Amadeus yet.
I was going to say, excellent movie, but he never did anything after that.
Well, he actually went into producing, and so he's much more of a film producer. It's kind of like the guy Chunk from the Goonies. You would say,
really?
whatever happened to Chunk, from the Goonies? But
What did happen to Chunk?
He went on to become a film agent. And he was actually Ke Huy Quan's agent.
Oh, wow.
So, because they met and became best friends on the
So kind
Goonies.
of brought him back through all this?
So when he won his Best Actor award, he thanked his Goonie who was in the crowd. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
So Tom Hulce went primarily into producing after that, but he's wonderful in Amadeus. A word of warning to the people listening, if you've never seen this film or you wanted to revisit it, there is a longer version, which is erroneously called a director's cut. It's just a longer version. That is not the preferable version. You want the theatrical cut. So
you understand when you see it why they cut scenes.
100%.
Yeah.
It changes the context of some things towards the end. Almost always, 9 out of 10 times, I will always go for the longer cut of something because if I like something, I want more of it. But in Amadeus, you have to go with the theatrical cut that we all saw back in 1987. And then my final pick is one that if you love Amadeus, you need to check this one out. I don't know why it doesn't have the same legion of fans. It is about Beethoven, and it's called Immortal Beloved. And it's got Isabella Rossellini, and it's got Gary Oldman as Beethoven, because of course it does.
Never seen it.
What can't he do? But it's about the time when Beethoven is realizing, I think I'm losing my hearing. And how does he deal with that? And he's got these paramours around him. He's got this wonderful music he's trying to write. And it's just a wonderful, heartbreaking film called Immortal Beloved.
Immortal Beloved.
So if you like your music biopics, those are some good ones.
I know Bob has a list over there, but I've got Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash, June Carter Cash. I thought it was so good. Ray, I thought was
very good.
Fantastic.
The stories behind that.
Yeah.
With actually meeting with Ray Charles and them jamming together and stuff. Pretty cool.
So cool. A coal miner's daughter. I mean, talk about Loretta Lynn is fantastic.
Tommy Lee Jones.
I almost had that one on my list. I love that movie.
I got 2.
Okay.
My favorite, but not unlike The Runaways, because I'm a huge fan of Joan Jett, Austin Butler and Elvis from 22.
Yeah.
I bet I've seen it 6 times.
It's
and
unbelievable.
3 times at the theater.
He's so good in that movie.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And you didn't mind Tom Hanks?
Yes. I did mind Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I did mind Tom Hanks.
It's an odd take on the Colonel.
And is it because of his prosthetics? Is it because of the way he portrays him? What is it that was so odd?
I think I said in my review that he portrays him like an alien who's come to Earth who's trying to approximate being human.
Yeah.
Because he just doesn't act or behave like an actual normal person.
No.
But I loved seeing Tom Hanks do something different and stretch, and he's wonderful in it. That
it
is
took
a really
it down
good
from a great a great review to, okay, there were some uneven moments.
And when do we ever say that regarding Tom Hanks?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You
And
know?
I think this is the way the director, was that Laz Berman?
That was,
Who, the way he did the narrative and all that. It was, anyway, but I love the film overall. I've seen it a bunch of times. And then I'll go old school, made before I was born. But I watch it whenever it comes on, the Glenn Miller story with Jimmy Stewart and Allison.
I have a copy of that at home, and I've never seen it. I was at a checkout line at a grocery store back when they were giving away like dollar DVDs or whatever, and they had a 4-film Jimmy Stewart DVD. So you've got Harvey on there, which is why I bought it.
I love it.
Harvey.
Harvey's great.
But Glenn Miller story is on there, and I thought, I've never seen this.
So let me see.
So I have that at home.
My take on it, and see if this kind of resonates on some films you've seen, is that if it wasn't a true story, it wouldn't be very good.
Huh.
But because it's a true story, it's compelling.
Well, I think that brings us full circle to Song Sung Blue.
Yeah.
Had this been like some sort of fictional account of a fictional tribute band, people would be scratching their heads.
What are we doing?
Like, why, right. But the fact that it happened, that's what draws
That's
you
a great point.
And all the weird things that happen
Mm-hmm.
during all of that. And the look, superfan Aaron says Max knocks it out of the park every time.
no
Great
question.
reporting.
I appreciate that. Aaron.
Somebody said the Freddie Mercury. You weren't a fan of the.
I mean, if you talk about a fictional story, none of that happened. But
what?
Bohemian Rhapsody is
Is that right?
It's a completely made up thing. None of that happened, especially in the order that they showed you. He didn't just tell his bandmates, "I've got AIDS now, let's go do Live Aid." That didn't happen.
That makes me angry.
There's a lot in that movie that is completely bunk. Now, I do think that Rami Malek was very good.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he won Best Actor. I love Lucy Boynton, who was his would-have-been
good.
wife. You know, and that's
She's good.
And that's a true story that he bought her that house, and he probably would have been with her had he been a straight man.
Yeah.
So there are elements in that movie, but as far as here's how Queen did this, or here's what none of that is true.
Wow.
None of it.
That is interesting. You also got Rocket Man that I thought was pretty good.
Yep.
And we got so many coming up. You know, Meryl Streep is going to play Joni Mitchell in an upcoming biopic. You've got the Beatles, which is going to be told in 4 different movies, which I don't
What
know.
do you think? You look at Max, if you're not watching.
already shaking his head.
I'm not a Beatles guy, so I don't want to go see 4 different movies. They keep hiring interesting actors and actresses, though. Like, there are some people who have been cast who I'm a huge fan of. So now I feel like, now I have to go see it.
So we'll go see it. And then a few years later, they'll put them all together in one 8-hour movie. So everything's in chronological order.
They should just shoot them separately and then edit them all into one 2-hour movie.
Why not?
Let's just do that. Do we need 4 Beatles movies?
No, and I think...
What's next? 4 Kiss movies?
Okay.
Wow.
And didn't we learn
5 Rolling Stones movies? What are we going to do?
from Wicked? Didn't we learn that doesn't work?
It doesn't work. Wicked could have been one.
Right.
Maybe 3-hour, 15-minute epic, and it might have actually won Best Picture had they done that.
Somebody mentioned one we forgot about, The Doors.
The Doors, my wife kept telling me, because she was helping me out with this list, she said, you have to put The Doors on there because Val Kilmer did his own singing. And she kept saying, I'm like driving to work. She's like, don't forget to put The Doors on there. And I'm sorry, honey.
I don't love it totally as a movie, but I think Val Kilmer is tremendous.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you're Doc Holliday one day, and then you're Jim Morrison,
and then you're Jim Morrison.
Like,
he's
really singing and everything.
Yeah.
When
really
you get
good.
home, are you going to tell your wife that you put The Doors on, even though you didn't?
She will ask me, "Hey, did somebody bring up The Doors?" And I'll say yes, because that's not a lie.
Or you say, well, we talked about it.
That's right.
We talked about it. Yeah.
And somebody said the Bob Dylan movie was kind of lame, complete unknown. I
agree.
liked it, but it was a little slow,
As you know from having me on, I'm not a fan of Little Timmy.
Yeah.
And so I thought the whole Pete Seeger stuff
was interesting. I agree.
And the idea of the folk community not being okay with electric guitars. That's interesting. But that's more interesting to me than now I'm going to be Bob Dylan.
And Sweet Dreams, Patsy Cline.
Oh, that's a good
Karen,
that's
love
a
your
good
show.
film.
I've never seen it. And
it's a good film.
You know, I love
it's
Patsy
good.
Cline, so
Yeah.
I probably should see that.
Yeah, I love it.
For the record, I think with all the interviews that he's done, I think he does go by Timmy to his friends. I think that's what people call him.
So
Timothy Chalamet.
Before his acting career took off, he would make little YouTube videos where he was a rapper, and I think Lil Timmy Tim.
No.
Yes, you could look this up.
That's too easy.
No, Lil Timmy Tim. So ever since
rolls
then,
off the tongue.
I've called him Lil Timmy.
That's a parody.
Is that
well? There you go. What's coming up
fits.
this weekend?
This weekend on the show, I'll be talking about Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, the new comedy with Sam Rockwell that I really enjoyed. I'll talk about the new Dracula film, and we have Emily Blichfield on. She's a writer-director out of Norway who did a movie last year called The Ugly Stepsister, which was a spin on Cinderella that was one of my favorite films last year. It was nominated for an Academy Award for hair and makeup. So that's very cool for a small film from Norway to get Academy recognition.
All right, well, we will be listening.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Max.
Thanks, everybody.
Time once again to check in with Captain Paul. How's traffic?
Heidi, good news. They've cleared an accident on 170 south before 64, and we are accident-free. 64 east is jammed from the Poplar Street Bridge past 5570 to St. Clair Avenue. That's due to a lane closure for road work between 15th Street and 25th Street in East St. Louis. And there's a stalled vehicle on 70 west at Adelaide. This traffic report is brought to you by Stages St. Louis. Get your season tickets now for the 2026 Stages St. Louis. The 2026 season is kicked off with the always hilarious 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Then take a trip back to the 40s and 50s with Guys and Dolls. Stages will wrap up this year with the incredible true story of Come From Away. Call 314-821-2407 or visit stagesstlouis.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Some of my fondest memories as a kid is heading down to the hardware store. You had to pick up a couple of nails, a couple of screws, maybe a gallon of paint, whatever it may be, right? It was your friendly neighborhood hardware store. Well, those don't exist anymore in St. Louis, except for Schnarr's Hardware. They have two locations in Webster Groves and in Clayton Road in Ladue. Schnarr's Hardware is that place where you go in and you can get that bucket of paint, you can get a couple of screws. The advice is always free. And the one thing about Schnarr's Hardware that every single family hardware store used to have, and that is the smell. It smells like a hardware store. It's got the selection. I don't know how they do it. It's a small store, but they got everything you ever need. They got the paint. They got paint matching. They've got big green eggs. They've got screws and nails and everything a hardware store should have. Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations, 1 great hardware store. Schnarr's Hardware, we'll see you there.
Are you prepared to take advantage of all the new changes in the tax law this year? Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group, and the author of the #1 best-selling book on taxes, Keep What's Yours. This year, we're celebrating 50 years helping area businesses get their financial plans in order, reduce their tax liability, and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. I'm also launching my newest book, Keeping What's Yours, the Strategic Tax Planning Guide for the One Big Beautiful Bill. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act made permanent many of the tax rules from the Tax and Jobs Act signed into law in 2017, but also added many new benefits to both businesses and households. My new book, Keeping What's Yours, the Strategic Tax Planning Guide for the One Big Beautiful Bill, outlines the details. Get your copy today at capitaladvisorygrp.com or find it on Amazon.
Recently, a good friend of mine was changing the light fixture in their kitchen, and they took the light fixture off the ceiling, and they looked inside the ceiling and said, "What is the phone number to Michael Baldy?" If they would have listened to me, they would have put Michael Baldy's phone number in their phone, because everybody needs a good electrician on speed dial. So here you go. The next time you need an electrician, you need to remember Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. So the phone number, 314-968-9999. Indoor, outdoor, an old Victorian home, knob and tube wiring, and anything and everything in between. You see, Michael Baldy is a licensed electrician, and he has a team ready to go. Whether it's something for the ceiling in the kitchen, something for the lights for the holidays, whatever it may be, Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. BaldyElectric.com, 314-968-9999, because everybody needs a good electrician on speed dial. BaldyElectric.com.
Hi, I'm Joseph Shearer, born and raised right here in St. Louis. Over the last 15 years, I've been working as a financial advisor with some of the largest companies on Wall Street. Now I'm back in my hometown, partnering with W. Swartz & Company and helping clients approaching or in retirement, growing families, and business owners reach their financial goals with minimum levels of risk. I would love the opportunity to partner with you on your investment strategy and financial plan, or maybe just provide a free, no-obligation second opinion. You can call me, Joseph Scheer, directly at 314-518-4725. That's 314-518-4725, or find me on my website at wswartz.com. That's WSWARTZ.com. I'm a proud long-term supporter and active volunteer of the Backstoppers. At W. Swartz & Company, we provide unbiased, highly customized guidance and service fiduciaries. We do not sell commission-based products. Call me, Joseph Scheer, at 314-518-4725.
Managing attorney of Milton Law Group, STL tax lawyer Mark Milton is widely recognized as one of the top tax resolution attorneys in the country. Mark and his team provide trusted legal representation to troubled taxpayers, specializing in tax debt resolution, tax audit defense, and unfiled tax returns. For a local solution to your IRS problems, contact STL tax lawyer Mark Milton by visiting stltaxlawyer.com.
Choice of lawyers and important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again.
Well, Heidi and Bob, back in the day, on this date, February 19th, Thomas Edison, 1878, received a patent for the phonograph.
Wow.
How about that? What do you think those sound like these days?
I think it sounds a little bit like grunge.
You think the discs are warped at this point? AC/DC's lead singer Bon Scott passed away on this date in 1980.
Wow.
Pamela Anderson married Tommy Lee in 1995 after knowing each other for just 96 hours.
And we know how that panned out.
Well, it lasted 3 years. And Fidel Castro stepped down as the president of Cuba after nearly half a century in office, 2008.
They say he had a good curveball. Yeah. No, they did. He was a good baseball player.
Interesting.
Michelle Franzen. The arrest of former Prince Andrew rocking the royal family in Great Britain. After being in custody for roughly 11 hours, Andrew was released. Police say the investigation continues into alleged misconduct. ABC's James Longman has more from London.
This pertains to emails, we believe, that were published recently in the most recent Epstein files published by the Department of Justice, which seemed to suggest, they allege that Andrew was forwarding emails to Jeffrey Epstein whilst he was trade envoy here in the UK. Now, as a public official, that is misconduct. That is what the police are alleging. That's the charges that they presumably are bringing to him if they do indeed charge him.
King Charles, in a statement, says the law must take its course. Tensions are mounting between the U.S. and Iran. The U.S. military moving more ships and resources to the region. President Trump is said to be weighing possible military strikes against Iran if it does not finalize a deal to curb its nuclear program. ABC's Ann Flaherty has more on the military buildup.
What we're seeing is more than 100 aircraft flowing into the region. That's an extraordinary buildup that we're seeing in just a matter of weeks. And of course, everybody is asking the question, are we headed toward some kind of major military operation like President Trump oversaw last summer when he bombed those Iranian nuclear sites? I would say that many of the assets being put in the region suggest an even larger scale attack.
In Arizona, the FBI now reaching out to Mexican authorities for help in the search for Nancy Guthrie. She's been missing for nearly 3 weeks. Police are also doubling the reward to help locate the 84-year-old. ABC's Aaron Katursky is in Tucson.
They're hoping that by doubling the reward to $200,000, that will convince someone who knows something to say something about an individual or group that may be holding Nancy Guthrie, like maybe $200,000 is worth it.
You're listening to ABC News.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
68 degrees at 4:03 with KTRS News. I'm Steve Potter. Missouri lawmakers are considering a bill that would limit screen time use by elementary school students to 45 minutes per day and require that 70% of their assignments be completed using paper and pencil. Supporters of the bill hope it will lead to school districts reintroducing books, paper, and pencils as a foundation for learning. St. Louis city leaders met this morning at City Hall to address growing concerns regarding the city's aging water infrastructure. This is in response to recent incidents where old pipes and aging systems cause problems in the city, leading to multiple water main breaks and sinkholes. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker delivered his State of the State and Budget address and says his proposal does not include major cuts to programs and aims to prioritize affordability without raising taxes on working people. Following yesterday's address, Pritzker released a video statement.
This is a challenging budget year, no doubt about it, but we are focused on restoring fiscal responsibility to the state of Illinois. We've had 7 balanced budgets in a row. This is our 8th that we've proposed, and will get passed at the end of this session.
Pritzker's new budget does not include major new taxes, but would create a new tax on social media companies. Opening statements began today in Madison County Court against PFD Supply, a subsidiary of Prairie Farms Dairy, in connection with the death of a 64-year-old man who was transporting dry ice from St. Peters, Missouri to Arkansas. A PFD employee allegedly loaded the coolers into the back of the man's vehicle, but did not provide him with warnings regarding how to safely transport the cargo. The victim died later as a result of carbon dioxide gas poisoning from the dry ice. National media company USA Today asked its readers to vote on the 10 best in America in several categories, and some local attractions made the list.
Some St. Louis favorites ranked in the USA Today 10 best list. Coming in second place in the best planetarium category was the McDonald Planetarium at the St. Louis Science Center, and the St. Louis Science Center ranked 5th among the best science museums in the United States and 4th as the best free museum. In the best open-air museum category, the National Museum of Transportation in southwest St. Louis County, where they're celebrating the 100th birthday of Route 66, ranked 6th. You can see the complete list at 10best.usatoday.com. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
The celebration of Black History Month continues at the Missouri History Museum on Saturday afternoon between 1 and 3 o'clock. The St. Louis African American History and Genealogy Society will help visitors research their family history. And on Sunday, the St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum will host a Day of Remembrance program dealing with the 1942 executive order which led to the forced removal and incarceration of people with Japanese ancestry who were living in the United States. This KTRS Business Minute brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Boeing's defense headquarters is returning to St. Louis. The company made that announcement yesterday. Steve Parker, CEO for Boeing's Defense, Space, and Security Division, said in a statement that it's important for leaders to be side by side with teammates and listen to their feedback. Now the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. At close, the Dow down 267 points at 49,395. NASDAQ down 70 at 22,682. And the S&P 500 down 19 at 6,861. Now let's check in with Paul for KTRS Sports and Traffic.
Steve, SLU basketball has fallen out of the net rankings top 20 after Tuesday's loss at Rhode Island. An even more critical game is on the horizon with VCU bringing their 10-game winning streak to town tomorrow night. And St. Louis City SC meets Charlotte FC in their home opener Saturday at 1:30 p.m. at Energizer Park. It's been revealed that City will debut their new Tina Turner Gold kit for the match. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. An accident on 270 east at Riverview is causing a stop and go back up to Bell Fountain. And 64 east is jammed from the Poplar Street Bridge past 5570 to St. Clair Avenue. That's due to a lane closure for road work between 15th Street and 25th Street in East St. Louis. This traffic report is brought to you by St. Dominic High School. St. Dominic is a Catholic co-ed community that is forming disciples of Jesus Christ. Located on 50 beautiful acres in O'Fallon, Missouri, St. Dominic offers more than 125 course offerings and 95 college credit hours. St. Dominic also has 70 athletic teams, an award-winning theater department, band, and choir. Schedule a tour today at stdominichs.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our forecast calls for partly cloudy skies tonight and overnight low around 34. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 49. At 8 minutes past 4 o'clock, partly cloudy, 68 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport. Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Every year, at least 15,000 people in Missouri die from it, leaving behind children, spouses, mothers, and fathers. It's the #1 killer in Missouri. It's heart disease. There is good news. Heart disease can often be prevented, and the Big 550 wants to help with KTRS Red. All this month, American Heart Month. The Big 550 will help improve your heart health with simple changes you can make now to help lower your risk of developing heart disease. Changes like
losing weight,
learning how to stop smoking,
drinking in moderation, watching what you eat,
and becoming more active.
Don't become a statistic. Become heart healthy all February with KTRS Red. KTRS Red is presented by Schrader Funeral Home and Crematory, McKnight Place, Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services Heart Disease Program, Wise Woman Program, and Brown & Brown Attorneys at Law.
Thinking of buying a new home? Think T.R. Hughes. T.R. Hughes Homes has great prices on beautiful new homes at 4 desirable locations. Charlestown Landing in North St. Charles, convenient to Highway 370. The Grove at Riverdale and St. Paul with standard 4-car garages, just 10 minutes from the St. Peter's Dearborns. Arbor Valley in Wentzville on Highway N with minimum half-acre wooded lots. And our newest community, Elkhorn Ridge in Truesdale, just west of Wright City, minutes from Highway 70. Come and see why T.R. Hughes is St. Charles and now Warren County's premier home builder. TRHughes.com.
Brown & Brown Attorneys at Law want to remind you that February is Heart Health Month. Getting hurt on the job or in a car wreck is not for the faint of heart. Call now for a free consultation. 314-333-3333.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our headlines for this Thursday afternoon, February 19th, scholarship to honor figure skating coach killed in Starbucks drive-through shooting. Figure skating coach Sam Linehan was shot and killed during a robbery last week in the drive-through of South St. Louis Starbucks. Now, loved ones in the skating community left behind are honoring Sam with a scholarship program in their name. Linehan was once a competitive U.S. figure skater, later became a coach for the Metro Edge Figure Skating Club's synchronized skating team. St. Louis Energy and Sam's heartbroken close friends and the skating club's leadership united to do something special. Initially, the goal was to raise $25,000 to pay for the funeral expenses, but after so many people opened their hearts and their wallets, more than $56,000 had been raised. So now a scholarship will honor the beloved daughter, coach, mentor, and friend gone too soon. So it was an awful story, but I do love when people come together and they can make the most of a tragedy.
Change a tragedy and try and make something positive. Well, here's a silly but ridiculous, silly and ridiculous story, but also a little bit heartwarming. Josh, when you get a fishing hook stuck in your lip, where do you go?
It was March 1st down at Bennett Springs State Park. Didn't get in my lip, but this fly fisherman wheeled back, caught me behind the ear, and started tugging. And I had to grab the line.
Did you know the fly fisherman?
No.
It was a strike. You wandered up too close.
Well, I just kind of dislodged it myself, and then I went and sat in the car.
Pouting.
It's interesting. I have one of those stories too, but it was not me, but my mom. We were afraid she was having a heat stroke at the Lake of the Ozarks several years ago. And so she and I go to the Lake of the Ozarks ER, which just imagine that should be its own show.
Yeah.
And I look over 2 seats down from me, and this guy has a hook all the way through his thumb.
All the way through.
Oh.
And just sitting there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, look around. What else is happening in this joint?
So,
How did he do that?
Trying to bait a hook, I guess.
Hey, buddy, what happened there?
Yeah, got distracted.
Just take it out, will you? Well, it's not just people, even people from the Ozarks, who know where to go to the emergency room. A bird with a hook stuck in its beak sought medical attention by pecking at the window of a German hospital's emergency room.
How does he know?
They're smart.
Smarter than the average bird.
Yeah.
No, and so that's really what happened. They couldn't believe it. This big bird, what kind of bird? A cormorant.
Okay.
A cormorant, CRMORANT, was pecking at the glass doors. You can see the picture there, Heidi.
Yes.
At the glass doors of the emergency room. And the emergency room nurse, I've never seen anything like it in 15 years, kept pecking on the windows. They called the fire department to help him, kind of corral him, took him in. They cut off both ends of the hook, pulled out the rest of it, and off he flew.
Do you think he was sticking his beak where it shouldn't have been?
Do you think he had insurance?
Yeah. 1,000,000 to 1 chance, Doc.
1,000,000 to 1.
1,000,000 to 1. How about that? All right, and have you heard the news?
There's good rocking tonight?
No.
Oh. That's a smoke.
Another NFL team might be crossing a border soon. The Chicago Bears.
I can't imagine this is going to happen, but then I guess I didn't think the Chiefs would leave either.
Hammond, Indiana is northwest Indiana.
Yeah, it's just across the border. It's really not very far away.
And
Just across the border.
Indiana is big into football these days with the college playoffs.
National Championship, Lucas Oil Stadium. They're using the same deal that they got Lucas Oil built for the Colts to build this for the Bears. And frankly, they're saying they've had excellent conversations with the city, with the team. This is a historic day. Today is 219 Day in Northwest Indiana. That's their area code.
Oh.
And so they've decided to announce this news today.
But it's not final. This is just in talks.
This is just passing the ability to give the Bears the money they want.
Got it.
And if this thing goes through, pending final approval of the stadium legislation, it might happen. You know, the Bears have come out and said this is the best, most meaningful step toward our stadium that we've made so far.
How long ago was it they did the big refurbishing of Soldier Field? I just drove by there last week. It looks fabulous, but obviously it must not be.
It's the smallest stadium in the NFL.
There's just so much more that goes into it now. If you want to be able to host the Super Bowl and if you want to be able to keep a team, which is just crazy.
Would they build an indoor stadium? Some of the drawings of what they would do out at that racetrack in the Chicagoland suburbs.
Yeah.
Indoor stadium. If they keep building nothing but indoor stadiums, Buffalo, of all places, is building an outdoor stadium.
But do they want to? I mean, is that truly football?
Will that be the future of football, is all indoor? Or some sort of hybrid where you can open a window? That thing at Lucas Oil, you can take the roof off.
Yeah.
But this could be the next step in getting the Bears out of Chicago and into Hammond, Indiana. Not Louisiana.
I'm not sure.
I don't. You know what? There is a concert coming up that you might want to go to. It does not star Josh. It actually stars Cody Johnson and Alexandra Kay, and I'm talking about Glennon Live. It's going to take place at Chaffetz Arena Saturday, April 18th, but this is more than a concert. It is an evening unlike any other. It's basically to benefit a devoted fund for Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital and a one-of-a-kind entertainment experience because you get the great music of Cody Johnson and Alexander Kay, who, by the way, grew up right across the river. Alexander Kay, very talented. He even has a coffee shop over there now. She opened for Tim McGraw. She has been on the rise for a while. But this evening is also going to celebrate patients and families and the caregivers of Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. So it's a really inspiring night that also raises money for a very important cause, and that's to, keep helping all the kids who come through the doors of Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, the first freestanding Catholic pediatric hospital in the country. And of course, year after year, they provide excellence in pediatric health, not only to Missouri and Illinois residents, but throughout the country. And they never turn a child away. And part of the reason they can do that is because you make a donation or you attend this concert, Glennon Live, on April 18th at Chaffetz Arena. You can learn more, get tickets at glennon.org. Coming up, we're going to talk to the author of Family of Spies, a World War II story of Nazi espionage, betrayal, and the secret history behind Pearl Harbor. It's a story you don't want to miss.
I've been asked to say a word about Allen Roofing. That's not fair. I can't say it in a word. If they just did roofs, I probably could. I would say roofs. But they can do siding. They could replace it. They could put leaf guards on. They could reattach it like they had to do for me, where my gutter kind of came away from the house. Siding issues, they carry James Hardy, the very best. They can fix that too. Basically, if it's something you could see from the outside of your home or your office, they can fix it, improve it, or replace it. Look, it's probably the biggest investment you're ever going to make. Protect it. Absolutely. And nobody does it better than Allen Roofing. Check out all the reviews online. Everybody else seems to know. I shouldn't have to tell you these things. For all of your roofing needs and so much more, Allen Roofing. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Heart disease is the leading cause of death among Missourians. Uncontrolled high blood pressure, diabetes, and other heart-related diseases are leading factors linked to dangerous cardiovascular health issues. These conditions are often referred to as silent and not diagnosed until a person experiences signs or symptoms of a heart attack. Maintaining a healthy weight, quitting tobacco use, managing stress, getting enough sleep, moving 30 to 60 minutes a day, and scheduling regular health screenings are just a few things you can do to lower your risk. Learn more at health.mo.gov/high blood pressure.
Your St. Louis Ambush are back at the Family Arena this Saturday for a 5 p.m. game against Utica City. Catch all the exciting action and be a part of First Responder Appreciation Night. Make plans to get there early to get your mystery player bobblehead presented by Siteman Cancer Center. Plus, a youth soccer clinic before the game. For more information, go to stlambush.com. Tickets available at the Family Arena box office, Ticketmaster.com, or stlambush.com. Don't miss the fast-paced end-to-end action of Ambush Soccer.
It's Jill Farmer. Medicare is overwhelming. Parts, plans, deadlines. It's a lot. That's why so many of you turn to Ryan Raphael, the Medicare man. Ryan breaks Medicare down in plain English, helps you compare options, and make sure you're not overpaying or undercovered. No pressure, no confusion, just clear guidance from someone who actually cares. If you're turning 65, already on Medicare, or helping a parent navigate it all, start with someone you can trust. For the right plan, call a Medicare man. 314-368-6808, MedicareManSTL.com.
My name is Dan Head, and I'm the new owner of Patriot Build Sunrooms. We are still a family company with a name trusted by St. Louis for sunrooms for over 40 years. We will continue to proudly serve our loyal customers with beautiful sunrooms, as well as expanded offerings like outdoor fireplaces, outdoor grilling centers, and patio covers. And Patriot Build Sunrooms is proud to support the Backstoppers on KTRS. Give us a call for a free design consultation at 314-822-3232 or online at patriotbuildsstl.com.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at amazonbusiness.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Her grandfather was the only person tried and convicted for the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And now she's written a book about her family. Christine Kuhn is the author of Family of Spies, a World War II story of Nazi espionage, betrayal, and the secret history behind Pearl Harbor. We are so honored to have her joining us. It is such a pleasure to talk with you.
Christine, are you there?
Checking.
I'm excited to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. Your family shielded you.
Can y'all not hear me?
Yeah, we couldn't at first, but now we can. Yes. Your family shielded you from your family history for years. Tell us how you finally learned about your grandfather.
Okay, so we're having some phone troubles.
Okay. Why don't we take a quick break and you figure that out? We'll be back, hopefully, with Christine Kuhn.
For all of your travel needs, you go to the best travel agency in the world. Granted, I'm a little biased. Altair Travel and Cruises. They'll take you wherever you want to go in style. They'll handle all the details. You handle all the fun. Don't go to the Googles. Don't make that mistake. It all starts at Altair Travel and Cruises on Brentwood Boulevard, 314-968-9600. Anywhere you want to go, let Altair Travel take you. AltairTravel.com.
The boats are back at Missouri's premier boat and fishing show.
February 20th through 22nd at America Center.
Take advantage of screaming deals on hundreds of boats.
Check out wake surf and pontoon boats,
fishing boats and luxury cruisers,
personal watercraft, and more.
Enjoy non-stop entertainment.
Live stingrays, pro angler demos.
Get ready for fun in the sun
at the St. Louis Boat and Fishing Show.
February 20th through 22nd at America Center.
Go to stlouisboatshows.com for info. Kids are free.
Welcome to Pizza World, your hometown pizza. Located in Creve Coeur on Olive, just west of 270, and in Shrewsbury off Murdoch Avenue. Pizza World delivers the finest flavors of gourmet pizzas, chicken Alfredo, Texas barbecue, spicy Thai, and the Pizza World signature gourmet Appendonza. See the entire menu at pizzaworldonline.com. Perfect for office meetings, family get-togethers, or watch parties. Call Pizza World for the finest flavors of gourmet pizza, pastas, and salad. Pizza World.
As I was saying, we are joined by Christine Kuhn, author of Family of Spies. Christine, your family shielded you from your family history for years. Tell us how you finally learned about your grandfather.
Yeah, it was in 1994. I was in my early 30s at the time, married with a couple of kids. And I got a letter from someone in California, and it ended up being from a screenwriter who was looking to write a script for a movie. And they were asking me all these questions about my grandfather, his involvement with the Nazi Party, spying at Pearl Harbor. And I was just really shocked and confused. It really kind of blew me away. So, Mark, my husband, and I, we went and did some research, went to the local bookstore because it's 1994. You can't just say, "Hey, Siri." And so, we did some research, found out that my grandfather, was involved in the bombing of Pearl Harbor and had worked for the Nazis and had come from Germany to Hawaii. And so I came home and I reached out to my dad and I said, "Hey, I got this letter." And he immediately said, "Oh, no, that's not our family. That must be someone else. They have us confused." And so I hung up the phone, but I was a little concerned. I was trying to is this really real? And he finally calls me back about 15 or 20 minutes later, and he's sobbing. And he finally tells me the story about his family and how they were involved in Pearl Harbor.
Because your dad left the family when he was pretty young.
He did. After the bombing on December 8th, the FBI came to arrest Otto, Friedel, and my Aunt Ruth because they were all on the FBI watch list. My dad was only 15 at the time, but he was really tall, so they took him in too. So he was actually arrested and held in an internment camp for 5 months and interviewed by the FBI on multiple occasions. And they finally said he could go. And when his mother and sister and younger brother Hans went back to Germany, he refused to go with them. He said, I'm not a German. I was raised in America. I believe in what this country stands for, and I'm not going to go. And, it devastated his mom, but I was really really proud of my father and the courage that it took to walk away from your family and never see him again when you were that young. I don't know that I could have done that, honestly, but I'm glad he did.
Christine, we have so many questions. That's why we need to buy the book, right? To answer those.
Yeah.
But let me ask you just a couple. So I think I read that it was on December 8th or 9th that the FBI came to your house. Was your family already on a list, and did they get there too late? And was there a story behind that?
Well, so what happened? So December 7th is Pearl Harbor, and about 2 or 3 in the morning on the 8th, my grandfather, my grandmother, and my aunt had been on an FBI watch list because the FBI, since they opened their office in 1939, had been putting a 800-page file together on the family because they were definitely, they were spying for the Japanese. They created a coding system to help communicate to Japanese subs what ships were in the harbor. And so they came on that Sunday, and they ended up arresting the 3 of them, but then they took my dad as well.
Wow. Because it wasn't just your grandfather. It was your aunt. What was her role?
She was really young and, in her early 20s, beautiful. And she was part of the Society of Hawaii. She was invited to all the parties. She dated, servicemen. Her and my grandmother opened up a hair salon near Pearl Harbor to so that the Navy wives would come to get their hair done and chat about when their husbands were leaving and what ships they were on and when they would come back. So it was really all about gleaning information from when she was, out on a date with someone or at a party or, at the hair salon.
And Christine, did you know your aunt or your grandmother or your grandfather?
Yeah, it's interesting. My dad never spoke about his family growing up. I mean, I knew he was born in Berlin and moved to Hawaii when he was 9 before the war. But in 87, he called me and he said, "Hey, my sister wants to meet you." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that would be great." Because my dad just never talked about anybody. I'd never met anybody from his side. And so my husband now, but I was dating Mark at the time, so I got him to drive with me to Charleston. And she was just so sweet. Great aunt, grandmother, just really sweet and kind. And we were having a conversation, wanted to know about where I was going with my life. And I saw this wedding picture on the end table. And I asked her, "Are those my grandparents?" And she just shook her head, yes. And so I started asking her questions. And my dad never talks about them. Where did they meet? When did they get married? And she cut me off. And she said, "You have a good life. Don't ruin it with the past.
Oh, wow.
Don't ask me any more questions about your family, the past, or Pearl Harbor."
Wow.
And I was like, Pearl Harbor, that kind of threw me because I didn't know. My dad said it was because she was there and it was a tragic day. And, that was the silent generation. They didn't talk much about their past. So, yeah, we were connected over the next, 10 or 15 years. But anytime I tried to even ask her anything about Pearl Harbor or her time in Hawaii, she would cut me off, get off the phone, and ghost me. She just wouldn't talk about it.
Ooh. So how did the family end up in Hawaii? Were they placed there with the intent of being spies, or did they move to Hawaii as just German immigrants and then were converted to spying?
So in 1935, the whole family was kind of involved in the Nazi Party. My grandfather had interviewed for what would become head of the Gestapo. My dad's half-brother, Uncle Leopold, he worked for Joseph Goebbels. And so that's how Ruth met Joseph Goebbels, and they ended up having an affair when she was only 19.
Your aunt.
And with my aunt.
Yeah. Wow.
And when the Nuremberg laws were going into effect that, outlawed and German Aryans from having relationships with people of Jewish descent, Goebbels had to kind of hide his misdeed. And so he knew, like my grandfather had worked in the secret police, and he knew the Japanese were looking for Caucasians to go to Hawaii as sleeper spies. So they had my grandfather go, knowing that he would take, the entire family, including his stepdaughter, Ruth, to Hawaii with them. So that's how they got to Hawaii in 1935.
It is a fascinating story. We're talking to Christine Kuhn, author of Family of Spies, a World War II story of Nazi espionage, betrayal, and the secret history behind Pearl Harbor. I know at one point, either in an interview or in the book, you said the whole family was just transformed by the promises that were being told by Hitler and the Nazi Party.
Yeah, I mean, in 1929, after the stock market crash, Germany, still, reeling from World War I, just spiraled out of control. And Hitler and the Nazis totally took advantage. They went around and he was speaking to, large groups, talking about bringing the German power, Germany back to power and releasing the country from the shackles of the Treaty of Versailles. And, my grandfather and my uncle Leopold actually went to one of those rallies in Kiel. And, he's up there speaking, the crowd's cheering. I mean, it was just a frenzy. And my grandfather joined the Nazi Party the next day. And Leopold joined as a stormtrooper. Wow. Friedel was in the Federation of Women, and even Ruth, who was half Jewish, joined the League of Nazi Girls. So they were kind of all in early on around 1929, right in 1930.
Wow. So Christine, you were shielded from all of this. You didn't know it. When did you decide to write about it and share your story? Because, I mean, people could have judged you as well just because of your bloodline.
Absolutely. That was my biggest fear. I mean, I stopped and started this process for 30 years. Like I would do research and then I would find out, some terrible nugget about my family and I would put it away. I mean, I had friends who were Jewish. I mean, I was just devastated and ashamed, and I carried this guilt of what my family had done. But in 2020, a couple things happened. I received a letter from my dad's first cousin who still lived in Berlin, basically saying, if you want to know about your grandfather, I'm 86 years old, now's the time to ask. And I had never met her before. So, we started communicating. And then about 4 or 5 months later, I got a letter from another best-selling author, Stephen Harding, and he was looking for answers. He found me on LinkedIn. He wanted to talk to me about my family because he was writing a book. And I remember looking at Mark and I said, if anyone's going to tell my family story, it's going to be me, and you're going to have to help me.
Were you a writer? What were you doing at that time?
No, I wasn't. I worked at and was in talent acquisition. I had kind of moved out of journalism and public relations. I mean, I still, kind of stuck my head in and wrote a little bit, but the book, writing a book was really never a part of the plan, honestly. It just kind of came together. You know how you sometimes can just feel the universe is saying, okay, you need to, this is what you need to do. And that's honestly kind of how I felt. And, I was really nervous about putting the book out there, but it's gotten wonderful reception. I've been speaking to various Jewish community centers up and down the East Coast, and they have been so warm. And I can't even begin to tell you how much talking with them and talking to them about my story and their response has really helped with, the healing and being able to let go of some of the shame and the guilt. I mean, at every time I talk, at least one person comes up and says, you don't carry the sins of your father. You are able to make your own choices and you are your own person. And I think that I needed to hear that. But I needed to hear it from that community more than anything.
Right.
So, Christine, tell us about your father, who had to make that courageous decision, and he probably carried that with his, with his whole life. How did he? And he ended up fighting on Okinawa, if I read that correctly. So it wasn't just lip service. He was all in. He believed in the American dream. But what was he like, and how he carried that burden all those years?
Yeah, he even denounced his German citizenship in order to join the U.S. Army and fight in Okinawa, and then again in Korea, the Korean conflict. So, he told stories, right? I mean, my dad, he never, like I said, he never talked about his family, but he would tell all these other stories that I can't think that filled in for his lack of family stories. And there were moments, like one time at Christmas, one of my nieces learned how to sing O Tannenbaum in German when she was in kindergarten, and I remember she sang it for my father, and my father just he had tears running down his face. So I do think it was a burden to keep that secret from me and my mom and my family. And so I think when he finally was able to release it, I mean, secrets are detrimental, I think. I think they weigh on you. You can't heal when you don't talk about them. And I think in the end, he was really happy that he had finally told me and kind of released that and kind of taken that burden off of him. I think that was real important, and made a big difference in his final, 10 or 12 years that he had. I think it was kind of cleared him a little bit.
Christine, did that screenwriter who sent you that letter, did he ever end up telling the story? Did he ever make a movie?
He did not. But what's interesting is his son found me on LinkedIn after the book came out, and I actually had the opportunity. He's 92 now. I actually had the opportunity to talk with him. So it was kind of full circle because I, hadn't had hadn't had any communication with him since 1994. It's kind of that's what's really interesting about the book is the number of people that I've met that I would have never connected with had this book not been written.
Well, movie deal?
No movie deal. Not yet. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Fingers crossed.
I don't even really have anything in the works, honestly. It has to be special. It has to be someone special to tell this story.
Somebody on our text line said, got this book on Saturday. It's great, very interesting read. You can read more about Christine's family in her book, Family of Spies. You can purchase it wherever books are sold. Christine, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story and for sharing it with everyone.
But thank you for having me. I appreciate your time. And sorry we got off to a rocky start, but I'm glad we got it figured out.
So am I. All right, 20 minutes before 5. Let's check back in with Captain Paul.
Heidi, an accident on 270 East past Riverview has traffic jammed back to 367. The estimated clearance time is 4:55. 64 East is jammed from the Poplar Street Bridge past 5570 to St. Clair Avenue. That's due to a lane closure for road work between 15th Street and 25th Street in East St. Louis. 64 West is busy from Kings Highway to Hampton, and 55 South is running slow from south of Arsenal to 4500 South Broadway. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Are you prepared to take advantage of all the new changes in the tax law this year? Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group, and the author of the #1 best-selling book on taxes, Keep What's Yours. This year, we're celebrating 50 years helping area businesses get their financial plans in order, reduce their tax liability, and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. I'm also launching my newest book, Keeping What's Yours, the Strategic Tax Planning Guide for the One Big Beautiful Bill. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act made permanent many of the tax rules from the Tax and Jobs Act signed into law in 2017, but also added many new benefits to both businesses and households. My new book, Keeping What's Yours, the Strategic Tax Planning Guide for the One Big Beautiful Bill, outlines the details. Get your copy today at capitaladvisorygrp.com or find it on Amazon.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
Basement with a Y. That's Basement E.
It's Basement T.
Basement E?
It's Basement T.
Oh, Basement T. Basement T. I get it. That's the basement waterproofing and foundation repair experts at Woods Basement Systems.
Right. The All Things Basement T experts at Woods Basement Systems will provide you a free estimate and dry up that wet basement and fix that cracked foundation. Call 800-388-9326 or go online to woodsbasementsystems.com.
That's woodsbasementsystems.com.
Some of my fondest memories as a kid is heading down to the hardware store. You had to pick up a couple of nails, a couple of screws, maybe a gallon of paint, whatever it may be, right? It was your friendly neighborhood hardware store. Well, those don't exist anymore in St. Louis, except for Schnarr's Hardware. They have two locations in Webster Groves and in Clayton Road in Ladue. Schnarr's Hardware is that place where you go in and you can get that bucket of paint, you can get a couple of screws. The advice is always free. And the one thing about Schnarr's Hardware that every single family hardware store used to have, and that is the smell. It smells like a hardware store. It's got the selection. I don't know how they do it. It's a small store, but they got everything you ever need. They got the paint. They got paint matching. They've got big green eggs. They've got screws and nails and everything a hardware store should have. Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations, 1 great hardware store. Schnarr's Hardware, we'll see you there.
Kuna Food Service has been the trusted food supplier in the Midwest since 1918. For over 100 years, Kuna Food Service has been distributing the highest quality food products to some of your favorite restaurants while delivering superior customer service. When a restaurant puts their trust in Kuna Food Service, they get a team that truly cares about their success. That's why at Kuna, they like to say, they're big enough to handle it, yet small enough to care. Check them out online at kunafoodservice.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
The Board of Peace held its first meeting. Who was there? Who was missing? Jordana Miller, ABC News correspondent in Jerusalem, joins us with the latest. Thanks for making time for us.
Of course. That's right. President Trump held the first inaugural summit of the Board of Peace, and there were dozens of leaders that have joined the board there. There was the Israeli foreign minister was there in place of the prime minister. There were leaders from Egypt and Saudi Arabia and Jordan, Turkey, for example. But there were also some notable missing faces in the crowd, U.S. allies who are either on the fence or have not joined or will not join the Board of Peace. That includes the UK, France. Even the European Union was there only as a partner that's observing the Board of Peace, right? But not as a full member. The Vatican says they won't join. Italy won't join. There are still plenty of countries in Europe that are on the fence. And I think the Board of Peace is ambitious. It aims to rebuild and really not only economically rebuild Gaza, but set up a new political infrastructure and a new security apparatus. But it also aims to deal with other conflicts around the region, around the world. And I think that's one of the issues that has kind of turned off some of America's allies. Is the president here trying to undermine or replace the UN? How is power going to be distributed and allocated in this Board of Peace, right? Who has the authority to say who's in or out or what will be accepted? Is it a vote, or does President Trump ultimately will he decide what goes down? I mean, it's not really clear. And the mandate to deal with conflicts around the world, again, is also not. I mean, it's very ambitious, but that's something that already the UN, right? That's at the heart of the UN's mission. So I think, it was a first summit, and it was, I think we're going to have to wait and see really what comes out of it. It turns out that, the estimates to rebuild Gaza are somewhere between $50 and $70 billion. And today there was 17 billion pledged, right? 7 from some of the founding members and members of the board, and 10 pledged by the United States. So that still falls short of what's going to be needed in Gaza. And it's a little bit of a catch-22, catch-21, we should say, right? Because there are many countries who don't want to put up and invest money into Gaza unless they know it's going to be stable and secure. And Hamas is still sitting on half of the Gaza Strip, really running half of Gaza and disarming them and kind of, pushing them to the side of Gaza, both as a military force and a civil force, is still a challenge. And until that happens, there's some countries who simply don't want to invest more money.
Yeah, and isn't that the big sticking point? If Netanyahu says until Hamas is eliminated, we're not going to go back in and rebuild. We'll rebuild, but this has to happen first. And so whether it's the UN or this new peace group, that's going to be a sticking point, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can see it already playing out a little bit, right? Because the prime minister here in Israel says, oh, we're not going to rebuild at all until Hamas is disarmed. And yet tonight, Jared Kushner unveiled a plan for rebuilding Gaza that starts with Rafah. The Turks have other plans for rebuilding. And, what comes first, right? The chicken or the egg? I mean, the Israelis definitely want to see the disarming issue dealt with first. But it looks like the Americans want to work on parallel tracks. Mm-hmm. And if that's what President Trump wants to do, I don't think Israel will be able to say much. They can complain, but at the end of the day, I think President Trump will decide and Israel will follow.
Where does this Board of Peace meet? Did anybody leave, or were they all kind of zooming in?
I mean, many people showed up in person, right, in Washington, at the the new. I think it's a think tank, a policy institute that was renamed after Trump, the Trump Institute of Peace in D.C. and a lot of leaders, at least from the Middle East, showed up in person, right? The Saudis, the Emiratis, the Qataris, the Egyptians, the Jordanians, the Israelis. But you didn't see a lot of Europeans there. You didn't see the Canadians there. The Russians were not there. I think that was one of the controversies or problems for other, for Europeans too. How can the Russians credibly sit on a quote unquote Board of Peace, right? Mm-hmm. When they launched this war in Ukraine a few years ago, and have been resisting or opposing any kind of settlement to end the war there. So, and they're not. The Russians say they're still looking at the charter and they're still deciding. It's. We're going to have to wait and see. I mean, it could fall apart. It could stay in place while Trump is in office and could fall apart afterwards. I mean, I don't know how deep the roots are for this.
Yeah, and
at this stage.
Jordana Miller, ABC News correspondent there in Jerusalem. We always appreciate your insight. Thank you so much, and stay safe.
Thanks. Talk soon.
8 minutes before 5 o'clock on this Thursday afternoon. Captain Paul, what are you seeing on the roads?
Heidi, we have 2 active accidents. The latest is a crash on 64 West at Kings Highway. An accident on 270 East past Riverview has traffic jammed back to 367. 64 East is jammed from the Poplar Street Bridge past 5570 to St. Clair Avenue. That's due to a lane closure for road work between 15th Street and 25th Street in East St. Louis. 64 East slows down around 170. 270 South is crowded around Olive End from 64 to Manchester, and 55 South is running slow from south of Arsenal to 4500 South Broadway. This traffic report is brought to you by the Opera Theater of St. Louis. Get your season tickets now to the Opera Theater of St. Louis. Enjoy the productions of Romeo and Juliet, A Streetcar Named Desire, and others. Visit them online at opera-stl.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
And now, it's the Bulletin Report with Bob Ramsey on the Heidi Glaus Show. Powered by the Milton Law Group, Davey Tree Expert Company, Hackett Security, and Connor Roofing.
It's a showdown at Chaffetz Arena Friday night, tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. What is the showdown? Well, the Billikens, who suffered only their second loss of the season Tuesday at Rhode Island, will take on the hottest team in the Atlantic 10, the VCU Rams. You may remember back on the 7th of January, St. Louis University traveled to Richmond to take on the Rams, and they beat them for the first time ever. It was a magnificent game. The Bills played well, and they got on quite a roll. Whereas VCU then lost another game, but then they got on a roll. VCU now has the 7th longest winning streak in America. They've won 10 in a row and are poised to come in, put a little payback on the St. Louis University Billikens. So tomorrow night, it's sold out. You may be able to get some secondary market tickets. There were a few tickets available in a couple of the suites, but it will be essentially a sellout. And here's the showdown part. It is a battle for first place. If you follow the standings on the loss side, a VCU win would tie the Billikens for first place, but VCU has one more win. So it's going to be crazy. It'll be national television as well. The Billikens are still ranked 18th. The next rankings don't come out until Monday. After losing to Rhode Island, the Bills will absolutely need a win to stay in the top 25. More importantly is getting the best situation they can get in the Atlantic 10 standings and keeping VCU at bay. Now, VCU, like the Billikens, plays multiple players. They have 3 players that score in double figures, and they spread it around. The top 2 offenses in the Atlantic 10 come in, although underrated for both squads are their defenses. Needing kind of a comeback, in my opinion. I think Kellen Thames, who had a career-high 18 points at VCU, we'd love to see the St. Louis native bounce back and have another huge game against Virginia Commonwealth. So tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, if you get there at the normal time of 7, you will have missed half the game or more. The Billiken Report is brought to you by the Milton Law Group. Managing attorney of the Milton Law Group, STL tax lawyer Mark Milton, is a proud St. Louis U School of Law alum, and he's widely recognized as one of the top tax resolution attorneys in the country. Mark and his team provide trusted legal representation to troubled taxpayers, specializing in tax debt resolution, tax audit defense, and unfiled tax returns. For a local solution to your IRS problems, contact STL tax lawyer Mark Milton by visiting stltaxlawyer.com. The choice of lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Kick off the season with a winning team. Choose Hackett Security to watch your home while you're watching the game. Hackett Security has a system to meet every budget. They are a locally owned national security company with on-site 24/7 UL listed monitoring. Visit HackettSecurity.com or call 314-432-4200. Who will be watching your home while you're watching the game? Hackett Security. They're looking out for you. 314-432-4200. HACKETT Security.com.
Hi, St. Louis. Need a reliable roofer? Look no further than Connor Roofing, your local, family-owned roofing company, proudly serving our community since 1993. Born right here in St. Louis, we're committed to providing top-notch service and quality you can trust. Call us today at 314-375-7475 or visit us online at connorroofing.com. That's CONNER roofing.com. Remember, you can count on Connor.
If you're concerned about the health of your trees, you need to talk to the Davey Tree Expert Company. These people love trees. They have a passion for keeping trees healthy. Their certified arborists provide personalized care for your trees. They're trained in the latest technologies for safe and accurate pruning and provide reliable preventative measures for diseases and invasive insects.
Locations in South County, Webster Groves, and coming soon to St. Charles. Davey Tree serves the entire St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river. Visit Davey, spelled DAVEY.com.
You've been listening to the Milliken Report with Bob Ramsey, powered by the Milton Law Group, Davey Tree Expert Company, Hackett Security, and Connor Roofing on the Big 550 KTRS.
The official birthplace of the toasted ravioli is
Mama's on the Hill.
And Mama's on the Hill serves the best in town. Mama's has been a mainstay on the Hill for decades and is still a family-run restaurant serving up great Italian food in a fun atmosphere. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner, and right in the heart of the Hill at Edwards and Bischoff. Delicious catering and party rooms too.
Mama's on the Hill.
Make reservations at 314-776-3100 and 24/7 at mamasonthehill.com.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deal.
Thanks, Farmer Dave. I'm combating wintertime blues by purchasing cool cars and motorcycles. Do you have a unique, low-mile, or super clean car you'd like to sell? Call me. I'm looking for Corvettes, Mustangs, Camaros, Harleys, Ducatis, Porsches, or anything super low-mile and super clean. Even everyday cars if they're exceptionally nice and well cared for. I'll come to you if you're in the St. Louis area, especially if you have more than one vehicle to sell. It's okay if you have a loan on it. We'll make the payoff. We make it easy. Hop on our site and submit your vehicle. We'll take it from there.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
Now is the perfect time to fall in love with your next home. First Community has a home loan that is perfect for you. Our Smart Choice Home Loan is a 30-year fixed-rate loan with a great rate. And with a 10% down payment, you won't have to pay for private mortgage insurance. It's home buying made easy at First Community. $1 share deposit required. Must qualify for membership. Loan subject to credit approval. Rate, terms, and conditions subject to change without notice. MLS ID number 684198.
50 KTRS St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The U.S. sending a second aircraft carrier to the region of the Middle East in fighter jets. The president pushing for Iran to finalize a nuclear deal. ABC's Ann Flaherty says the U.S. is still weighing possible military strikes.
We've spoken with officials who say, look, this could last for several weeks. That's what the military is planning for if Trump chooses to act. But everybody is offering the same caveat, which is that all of this is in the president's hands, and even he might not know exactly what he wants to do next.
Former Prince Andrew, arrested earlier today in Britain, has since been released. The brother of King Charles was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. ABC's James Longman has details.
The arrest reportedly linked to emails released by the U.S. Department of Justice as part of the Epstein files that show Andrew forwarding emails to Epstein while he was trade envoy. The emails, some dated in 2010, well after Epstein had already been convicted of soliciting sex from a minor, show Andrew forwarding British government files from his trips to places like Hong Kong and Vietnam. Andrew was trade envoy for a decade.
King Charles, in a statement says, "Let me state clearly, the law must take its course." Nearly 3 weeks after police say Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped from her Tucson home, the FBI now contacting Mexican authorities and investigating if she was taken across the border. ABC's Aaron Katersky says they're also working new leads.
It's more a theory of proximity. It's only about 60 miles from here at Nancy Guthrie's home. It's a wide open border, so it wouldn't be difficult to cross in undetected. Now, that said, the authorities are just doing that really out of an abundance of caution. They continue to try and run down videotape leads, Walmart sales receipts, and perhaps DNA to try and identify an actual suspect.
On Wall Street today, stocks ended lower. You're listening to ABC News.
We'll admit, we've already thrown in the towel on the New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and we made it through dry January. But one healthy new habit we're sticking with is Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to help protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
With trusted ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and artichoke extract, it's gentle enough to take all year long.
No harsh cleanses, no extreme detoxes, just simple daily liver support. We really feel the difference.
Yup, more energy and the peace of mind knowing we can enjoy the good things in life while giving our liver the love it needs.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
68 degrees at 5:03 with KTRS News. I'm Steve Potter. Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway has joined a coalition of 21 state attorneys general in filing a brief in support of Louisiana's lawsuit challenging an abortion drug rule. The case challenges a 2023 FDA action that allowed doctors in one state to prescribe abortion pills to patients in another. The brief argues that the rule unlawfully overrides state laws protecting unborn life and intrudes on states' sovereign authority. St. Louis has a new medical facility aimed at expanding care for the local community and surrounding areas.
A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held this morning to celebrate the grand opening of Archview ER and Hospital in North St. Louis. The new facility is in the Carr Square neighborhood and located at the former site of the Homer G. Phillips facility, which operated briefly before closing. It aims to expand access to emergency and inpatient medical care for the local community and surrounding areas. Nutex Health, the owner of Archview ER and Hospital, currently operates 26 micro-hospitals and hospital outpatient departments across 12 states. The project is the first Nutex Health micro-hospital to open in Missouri. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
A second teenager has been charged in the fatal shooting of a rideshare driver in Ferguson. Police say a 16-year-old boy has been charged with second-degree murder under the Juvenile Code in connection to the death of 28-year-old Shannon O'Brien. Last month, O'Brien was dropping off 3 men at a parking lot off Windward Court. Witnesses say the 3 men exited the vehicle and got into a shootout with several others walking by. O'Brien was hit in the gunfire and died at the scene. A new book from Reedy Press tells the story of the wide range of wild animals that live in the Show Me State. Amazing Missouri Animals is written by Carolyn Mueller-Kelly, a longtime keeper at the St. Louis Zoo. And on the Carney Show, she talked about how climate change is responsible for increasing the diversity of the kind of animals that can be found here.
Temperatures are getting warmer, so the last animal in the book is the armadillo. And I think we've all probably noticed that we see more of them in Missouri now than we used to because they're moving farther north with climate change. So, yeah, it's really interesting to see the animals that are already adapted to our climate, and then some kind of newer species that are making their way into the southern parts of our state.
From black bears to snakes to bluebirds, Kelly says Amazing Missouri Animals introduces young readers to wildlife that they might not know about. This KTRS Business Minute brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. A bipartisan poll conducted in January shows that 72% of Illinoisans support the idea of paying college students as they complete the mandatory student teaching portion of their education. The Illinois Education Association reports 84% report stress due to their financial conditions. Now the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune into Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. At close, the Dow down 267 points at 49,395, NASDAQ down 70 at 22,682, and the S&P 500 down 19 at 6,861. Now with KTRS Sports and Traffic, let's go to Paul.
Steve, SLU basketball has fallen out of the net rankings top 20 after Tuesday's loss at Rhode Island. An even more critical game is on the horizon with VCU bringing their 10-game winning streak to town tomorrow night. And St. Louis City SC meets Charlotte FC in their home opener Saturday at 1:30 p.m. at Energizer Park. It's been revealed that City will debut their new Tina Turner Gold kit for the match. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. The exit from 270 north to 370 west is closed due to an accident. An accident on 270 east past Riverview is still causing a bumper-to-bumper backup to Old Halls Ferry. 64 east is jammed from the Poplar Street Bridge past 5570 to St. Clair Avenue. That's due to a lane closure for road work between 15th Street and 25th Street in East St. Louis. 70 west is heavy from Exchange to the Musial Bridge, and we have the usual slow spots. This traffic report is brought to you by St. Dominic High School. St. Dominic is a Catholic co-ed community that's forming disciples of Jesus Christ. Located on 50 beautiful acres in O'Fallon, Missouri, St. Dominic offers more than 125 course offerings and 95 college credit hours. St. Dominic also has 70 athletic teams, an award-winning theater department, band, and choir. Schedule a tour today at stdominichs.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our forecast calls for partly cloudy skies tonight and overnight low around 34. Sunny tomorrow with a high near 49. At 5:08, partly cloudy, 68 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport. Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn, and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit cantorinjurylaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I want your fixer-upper home. It's crazy to spend a ton of money fixing it up when I will pay you top dollar right now. I don't even care what condition it's in. Your trash is my treasure. No inspections, no contingencies, just cold, hard cash. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867. That's Mike Robinson, 314-283-0867, or at robangproperties.com.
Mickey Dolenz, 60 Years of the Monkees. One night celebrating the music from their hit TV show, The Monkees, and a generation of adoring fans. Friday, November 13th, 7 p.m., the Family Arena. All the biggest hits and intimate stories from the groundbreaking hit show. Mickey Dolenz. On sale Friday at noon at the Carroll House Furniture Box Office at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
The Missouri Valley Conference Men's Basketball Tournament has been the showcase for buzzer beaters, madness, and championship glory. With nearly 5 decades of heart-racing excitement, it begins here at Enterprise Center. The 2026 State Farm MVC Tournament, presented by Credit Union One, Great Southern Bank, and SSM Health, tips off on March 5th through 8th. Celebrate 50 years of the Valley's postseason championship. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
The search for Nancy Guthrie has expanded into Mexico. Jennifer Koffendeffer is a law and justice contributor for News Nation, and she's joining us with the latest. Thanks for making time for us this afternoon.
Absolutely, Heidi. Thanks for having me.
So was there a tip that led to this search in Mexico, or it's just proximity?
I think it's proximity, but again, there's so much we don't know that's going on behind the scenes. I also feel that Mexico has always been a location they've been concerned about, and they're just doing a more thorough check.
Got it. What is the FBI's relationship with Mexican authorities?
Well, it's tricky because certainly Mexican authorities are considered, for the most part, to be corrupt, and that causes issues, but certainly they've worked together in other kidnapping cases. Even back in 2019, a guy who was kidnapped from Tucson, and they recovered with the Mexican authorities.
Very interesting. You spent nearly 3 decades covering organized crime and gangs. Do authorities think that this is related to a Mexican cartel?
No, I don't think so. There's no sign that this would be a cartel. There, for instance, no ransom. The modus operandi of the individual who entered does not match at all. They would have snatched and grabbed. This individual spent about 40 minutes in the residence. There is nothing that is indicative, and I don't believe law enforcement believes this is cartel related.
Yeah, and so this is so strange. We've heard so many reporters and experts talk about how this is a case that is so unusual in style. Is there still a consideration that it wasn't, and I hate to use this word, traditional kidnapping case, that maybe it was something else that went wrong along the way?
Yeah, absolutely. We know it's not a kidnapping case because there's been no ransom demands that are legitimate.
Yeah. So in your gut, I mean, what is your theory here?
You know, it's interesting. I always say I never go with my gut. I just really go with the facts. Yeah. And right now I'm in a process of elimination situation. We know it's not the family. So we know the motivation was not inheritance or life insurance. So that aspect is out. We know it is, or believe it is not cartel related. That aspect is out. So now we're really down to 2 possible theories. One is that it was some sort of breaking and entering and, burglary that went bad. And the other theory is that, of course, somebody purposefully went in there, victimized her to hurt the family and to hurt Nancy in some sort of revenge type situation. I'm leaning more toward the latter.
Yeah.
Oh.
But we don't have anything, or at least we haven't been told anything to lean towards that.
No, just kind of taking in the facts, the facts that it doesn't make a lot of sense that somebody would burglarize and then take the body.
Right.
I literally can't think of a case of that. The other thing is she was on an acre. Other houses were on 1 to 3 acres. This was very remote and very unusual. Her victimology here is at about 0. So it doesn't make sense that she was just all of a sudden targeted out of the blue, that a robber would go there. It really doesn't make much sense. So I'm not having anything that lines up with my experience that would say this is a burglary gone bad.
And for someone to maybe make a mistake and try to flee to Mexico and hide out, that was a thing in the past. Oh, I commit a crime, I run down to Mexico. Is that still the case anymore in 2026 where an American can sneak across the border and live, the rest of their lives in hiding in Mexico?
Well, I have to say, if this were something I was involved in, I would have taken her right across. It was 40 minutes away. You can just flash a driver's license and go into Mexico. It's no big deal as a U.S. citizen. And what a perfect place to take somebody and likely have nobody know anything afterwards and then return back. So I think it has to be explored, and it could be a possibility.
In your opinion, I mean, did the Tucson Sheriff's Department, did they bumble this in the beginning? Could they have done things better?
I always hate to armchair quarterback because having been in the hot seat for all those years, you're always going to make some errors. But the one major error is the fact they did not tape up that crime scene and keep people out of it.
Oh.
The way they handled that crime scene was a hot mess. And in fact, they've been back 5 times now. So, it's discouraging.
And Jennifer, what about trying to track her pacemaker? Could that possibly lead to something? Is that new technology?
Well, that signal sniffer is something that is trying to be used to obtain the communication from that pacemaker. But this is the problem. You have to be in such close proximity. And that helicopter is trying to get as low down to the ground as they can. But quite frankly, I think it's really a Hail Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to the Ring people or the Nest camera, it was, a week and a half, 2 weeks later before we even got to see that. Do you think authorities had that footage before we knew about it, or do you think the Nest people drug their feet in trying to find that?
So what happened essentially was the first 3 days, this was largely run by the local department. Then the FBI got very involved once that ransom note came on day 3. Then finally on day 10 was when we got that footage, and it's because she didn't have a subscription. So it was written over and over and over again, and they had to go through the layers and finally get that footage with the help of the FBI. So it was really quite a miracle that they were able to extract that footage.
Yeah. Well, Jennifer, we really appreciate your insight and joining us with the latest on this search for Nancy Guthrie. Hopefully we are going to find her soon.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
Mizzou basketball on the Big 550 KTRS is powered by Graybar. Graybar.
On the run, Mitchell for the flush, Missouri by 20.
This Saturday, Mizzou hits the road to tip off against the Arkansas Razorbacks at 3 p.m. Pre-game begins at 2:30 p.m. Catch all the action right here on the Big 550 KTRS. Presented by Graybar for all your electrical and datacom solutions.
Tries right baseline to the rim, jams it as he hangs.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
Get your season tickets now for the 2026 Stages St. Louis. The 2026 season is kicked off with the always hilarious 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Then take a trip back to the 40s and 50s with Guys and Dolls. Stages will wrap up this year with the incredible true story of Come From Away. Call today to reserve your group's individual or season tickets. 314-821-2407. Or visit them online at stagesstlouis.org. That's stagesstlouis.org.
Celebrate jazz legend John Coltrane with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra in a special one-night-only event, Coltrane 100 Legacy. Celebrate Coltrane's creative genius through powerful orchestral arrangements of his most groundbreaking works. Curated and arranged by acclaimed composer Carlos Simon, this performance features saxophone icon Joe Lovano in a journey from Coltrane's early classics to his late visionary masterpieces. It's jazz, symphony, and legacy, all in one unforgettable night with your St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. February 28th at 7:30 p.m. at Powell Hall. Tickets at slso.org.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at amazonbusiness.com.
Stay connected with the Big 550 KTRS, streaming 24/7 online at ktrs.com or on the KTRS app. Powered by JBL Financial. Stream Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
The man formerly known as Prince Andrew was arrested earlier. Royal Oaks ABC News legal analyst in L.A. joins us with that story. Has he since been released?
Yeah, he has been released. A rather embarrassing week for him, I would say. Of course, he's been experiencing troubles on the alleged sex trafficking front for a long time. But this is totally separate. This is not sex stuff. It's a financial transaction. But yeah, they took him in, booked him, and the usual fingerprinting deal. And it has to do with whether or not he leaked information years ago to Jeffrey Information, commercial investment type stuff, having nothing to do with these salacious allegations.
Nothing to do with, but still kind of tied to, because it does have to do with Jeffrey Epstein, correct?
Yeah, exactly right. And that's why people are especially interested in it on both sides of the pond. I mean, you got millions of pages here in America, the Department of Justice looking into it. And they've got similar investigations going on over in the UK. And you can bet they're going to be kind of swapping information. Essentially, what they're saying about him is that back during about 2000 to 2010, he was a trade envoy, trade rep for the UK. And in that capacity, he's flying all over the world and working on investments and raw materials being sold and bought by countries. Allegedly, he picks up the phone or fires up the computer and emails his pal Jeffrey Epstein and tells him about investment opportunities, gold and silver. Is tungsten hot in Vietnam these days? Mineral resource potential. You're not supposed to do that. And they've got an offense in England called misconduct in public office. And so that's what they're charging him with. They say that he basically was leaking confidential information to the benefit of Jeffrey Epstein.
Royal, this as soon as I heard this part of the story, it made me think of Al Capone. We can't get him for what we really want to get him on, but we can get him on something.
Yeah, it's a great analogy. I mean, the story about Capone, I guess, is in the 30s, they couldn't get him on murder or racketeering, even though everybody knew he just told people what to do on those scores. But he was convicted of tax evasion. He didn't report on his taxes, money he got from bootlegging or whatever. And so the idea is kind of cynical, but the idea is that the UK prosecutors are a little frustrated. And so their attitude is, well, if we can't get him on that, we're going to get him on proof of official misconduct, trade envoy misconduct regarding his authority. We'll see. I mean, theoretically, he could go to prison for the rest of his life if it's serious enough, off to the Tower of London. But I mean, it hardly seems like a hanging offense that he was sharing some boring financial details 20 years ago with Epstein, and it's probably unlikely that anybody took a bath financially, or even that Epstein had some huge financial benefit from doing it, but perhaps it was technically a violation. At this point, we're hearing his brother, the king, is not rising to the rescue. His king came out and said something like, though let the heavens fall, justice must be done. So I don't know if it's sibling rivalry or just King Charles saying, we got to do what we got to do. I'm not going to help the guy.
Royal, are there any chances that he could be charged here in the States?
Well, he could be if he's guilty of things like money laundering or wire fraud or some sort of financial conspiracy, foreign corruption statutes. It would have to have a link to the United States for America to be able to say, hey, after you're done with him over in the UK, we're bringing him here. Again, separate and apart from any, sexually related conduct. But at this point, we don't have any basis to think that necessarily is going to happen. But with this rolling release, I mean, talk about a weird situation. It's been like a decade trying to release millions of pages of Epstein documents. And then a few months ago, as you've reported on, we were told, well, about 1% of the Epstein documents have been 1% after years and years of releasing it. I know the redaction is tough, but nowadays when you want to redact something, you don't just, hire 50 people at $300 an hour to go to some warehouse. You run every page through a computer, and the computers are pretty good at telling you, oh, yeah, this is Wilbur Terwilliger's name cropped up on pages 2 and page 8034. And then you have human beings go through and make sure that the computer didn't mess it up. But, of course, we know from the story several weeks ago, somebody did mess up big time by accidentally revealing the names of Epstein victims that had not been made public before. So, yeah, you've got a coordination across the pond with both the prosecutorial authorities.
And do any of these charges open up, like, where they can look into the Epstein files a little bit further and find something that maybe is related to the sex ring?
Yeah, I think so, because, when you plow through thousands or hundreds of thousands of pages that are related to either the sex stuff or the financial, you're bound to run across things with an overlap. So this is really bad news for Andrew. I mean, so far, we've all seen the picture of him looking sort of chagrined at the front door of the house where people allege, well, there were underage women inside, but he hasn't been charged and he hasn't gone to prison. But when you got both sets of prosecutors bearing down on these issues, both the salacious ones and the financial allegations, you never know. But it's pretty likely that something is going to surface out of all those documents.
Yeah.
Well, you've got the former Prince Andrew. You have the former Prime Minister of, was it Norway, who's tied up in all of this? If there are trials in other countries, we don't seem to want to bring anyone to justice here. That's my cynical way of looking at it. But if there's trials in other countries, can the Norwegians, can the Brits subpoena the Epstein documents and release some of these unredacted in their countries?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to another jurisdiction and say, okay, here's a piece of paper from our judge, is a judgment or an order or a request. And usually the countries, if it's legitimate, if it isn't somebody being railroaded, they'll cooperate with each other. You've got international law treaties to help make sure that the different countries help out. And yeah, that's very possible that you're going to have several different nations looking into this. I mean, what Epstein got apparently or allegedly from Andrew was information about Vietnam and Cambodia, China, different investments in different countries. And so this is all fair game. The screws could really be tightened on the allegations against Andrew in the very near future.
Yeah, this story is not going away. Royal Oaks, ABC News legal analyst in L.A. Thank you, sir.
You bet. Thanks.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots. They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work. They're injected once weekly, and patients see within the first 90 days 10 to 15 pounds down. It simply works, and that's why I recommend it to all of my patients. You simply go online, book an appointment. You fill out a health questionnaire form. You get an appointment on our schedule. It's all telemedicine based. It's all done from your home. And then you meet with me or one of my nurse practitioners. And then after the 10, 15-minute consult, the medication is delivered right to your door discreetly, and you get started right now on your weight loss journey.
And you want to start to lose weight? None better than to call STLMedWeightLoss.com and ask Dr. Joe. STLMedWeightLoss.com.
Hello, I'm Florissant Mayor Tim Lowry. We are 52,000 strong, and we are the largest municipality in St. Louis County. The City of Florissant is proud to once again be a co-sponsor with the Big 550 KTRS for the Backstoppers Radiothon. I come from a law enforcement family and have worked my way through the ranks to the position of Chief of Police before becoming mayor. I know how important the Backstoppers are to our community and all the wonderful things that they do for the families of our fallen heroes. Again, the City of Florissant is proud to support this year's Backstoppers Radiothon, and thank you for all you do. We are Florissant Strong. Be safe and stay healthy.
Every day, you're out there, up before the sun, and pushing forward before the chaos of the day settles in. At Great Southern, we're right there with you because we understand the need for trusted support. Having a team that is seasoned, agile, ready, an award-winning team that knows their customers personally and is behind them at every step. There to assist you, inspire you, and echo your inner dialogue in those quiet moments. Keep going. Whether you're getting ready to meet the day or working on something big, we're your team. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters. Member FDIC.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, 5:30 on this Thursday afternoon. Captain Paul, what's traffic looking like?
The latest, Heidi, is a crash on 70 East at 141 with a backup to the Blanchette Bridge. An accident on 270 East past Riverview is still a bumper-to-bumper backup to Old Halls Ferry. That accident was reported just before 4 o'clock. 64 East is jammed from the Poplar Street Bridge past 5570 to St. Clair Avenue. That's due to a lane closure for road work between 15th Street and 25th Street in East St. Louis. 70 West is heavy from Exchange to the Musial Bridge. 64 East slows down from 170 to Big Bend. 270 South is crowded from 64 to Manchester. 55 South running slow from Gasconade to 4500 South Broadway. And there's a stalled vehicle on 44 West before Hampton. This traffic report is brought to you by St. Dominic High School. St. Dominic is a Catholic co-ed community that's forming disciples of Jesus Christ. Located on 50 beautiful acres in O'Fallon, Missouri, St. Dominic offers more than 125 course offerings and 95 college credit hours. St. Dominic also has 70 athletic teams, an award-winning theater department, band, and choir. Schedule a tour today at stdominichs.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
And now, KTRS weather.
Ken Scott with your first alert forecast. We're tracking highs towards the lower 70s. Going to be issued a first alert weather day as we're going to be tracking the potential for strong to severe storms from 11 a.m. all the way through 6 p.m. That'll push off to the east. Then as we head off into this upcoming weekend, temperatures will continue to cool back down. Talking highs mid-40s Saturday, upper 30s into Sunday, then a rebound into next week. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chance Koch for the Big 550 KTRS.
Leave it to the internet. People are weighing in on the everyday etiquette tips that we should all know by now, but somehow people forget. So what is something that you think is just common courtesy? I would say holding a door for somebody coming behind you. Yeah. Like if I accidentally drop it, I turn around to the strangers. I'm so sorry I didn't see you. I mean, that one seems pretty easy. Mm-hmm. Covering your mouth when you cough or sneeze, not just that's a must, right?
Yeah.
Maybe playing loud music without headphones. I know I complained about that once on a flight where somebody was just playing a video game loud.
Oh,
that
really?
Seems like one that maybe should be taken care of.
I was on a bus and some girl 3 rows back was talking for 2 hours on her cell phone.
Yeah.
As loud as possible.
I try to be cognizant of that. Like I went in and got a coffee today at Park Avenue Coffee, and I was on the phone with somebody, and I was really trying to whisper because I know that I don't ever know how loud I am anyway. Like even at home when I'm talking to somebody, Marsha's like, "You are being so loud." I'm like, I can't help it. That's just part of.
I'm a bit of a loud talker. So, you guys see even here, I know that my voice is disturbing. So I answer the phone and I get up and leave the office.
Right? You do.
On
That's
many
very
levels.
kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. The most common courtesy you can ever extend to someone. Well, how about a thank you?
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah. You never get a thank you anymore when you're dealing with people.
I disagree with that. You don't ever get a thank you?
Well, sometimes.
Even today, when you handed me something off the printer, what did I say?
I don't remember.
Get out of here.
I wasn't.
Get out of here, John.
I was going to say, I don't even know that you can weigh in when it comes to words. The listening part. That maybe should be common courtesy.
Oh, to listen more?
Yeah.
I'll start working on that.
Start that.
Mm-hmm.
But, you go to a store or whatever and you do your thing and you give them the money and everything. And you say, oh, thanks a lot. And nothing back. It's just really.
I want to know where you're going. I mean,
it's not all the time.
Okay.
But
I feel like going through checkout, I feel like there's almost a conversation every single time. But
maybe I just have one of those faces that says,
yeah. Now that could be.
Here's a side note.
Do not interact.
Here's a side note, but it goes to courtesy and people being kind to each other. We've talked often about airplane courtesy and that sort of thing. So we've also talked about Southwest and the new seating.
Yes.
Thing. So
did you fly Southwest?
Yeah, row 3 and row 4. So I get on, and as soon as I walk in, there's a lady in my seat. I said, "Excuse me, I'm in 3D," and she said, "Oh," and got up, and then she thought I meant that I was in the middle seat, and I go, "No, I'm here on this seat." And then she goes there. Anyway. So that was that little deal. She was really nice and very apologetic. No problem, no big deal. Well, all the way across row 3 and all the way across row 4. It was like musical chairs.
Oh my gosh.
Of the 12 seats, I'll bet 8 of them had people in the wrong seat and or the wrong row.
Because they didn't know how to read the ticket?
I guess they were all-timer Southwest people. And they're all going, well, this is new. And it was like the Marx Brothers. It was, and everybody started laughing. But everybody was kind and courteous.
That's
Nobody
good.
gave anybody the stink eye. It was actually very, very funny.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
Somebody
people
said,
being nice, though, that's the thing.
That's it. You can get away with so much if you just lead with kindness. Somebody said common courtesy, use your blinkers when driving. Yes, absolutely.
Well said.
Talking on a speakerphone in public. Here's one. When you hand over your phone to show somebody a picture, don't start swiping. I'm just showing you one picture. Not what's before it or after it. Don't touch. Just look.
So I don't know.
I want to see, Heidi.
Here, let me hold my phone. Swipe right, you go to the left, and swipe left, you go to the right. Because I don't know which is which. But I'll tell
right from your left?
Oh, you go to the next picture, and they'll go the opposite way. And they'll be like, well, what's this? I go, well, you're not supposed to go that way. You were supposed to go to the right.
That was a party a long time ago.
Yeah. I don't know why it's still in
memories.
here. But I need to figure out what's swiping left and right. Do you guys know if I say swipe right? Would you go to the next picture or the previous picture?
I think you'd go to the previous picture.
Is swipe right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I mean,
okay.
You can
That's
kind of
what
just do
I
it in
do
your
to look at
head.
my own pictures.
Yeah, me too.
I just kind of mean if you want to go to the picture to the right.
If you want to go to the picture to the right, you go left.
Oh, boy. See?
Because you're pulling it.
Yeah.
You see,
It's just you're pulling it over.
See my confusion?
Yeah.
I-
Yes,
just-
we see it.
we don't understand it.
We don't believe it, but we see it.
Right. One more. If you borrow something from someone, whether it's a blower, a lawn, return it in good condition. Don't damage something if you've borrowed it. You know.
Yeah,
Try
absolutely.
to maybe clean it up a little bit. You know,
If you borrow someone's car, do you put gas?
Yes,
fill
every
it all
single
the way
time.
up?
What are you doing borrowing a car?
Well, you gotta move
never
something.
what?
Yeah,
Really?
you gotta borrow a truck from somebody.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that's a little different. Yeah, you're right. Fill it up, of course.
Yeah, I think so too.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. When winter hits St. Louis, your furnace doesn't get a day off, and if yours is older, it may be running nonstop and still not keeping you comfortable. Winter has a way of exposing weak links. You're probably paying more and getting less. Or if your home never quite feels warm enough in the winter, your furnace may be telling you something else, especially if it's been around for a while. That's why I want you to call Premier Heating and Cooling. Their technicians go through 5 years of training beyond industry standards. It's Premier standards. Heating your home shouldn't feel like a struggle. Older furnaces work harder and use more energy. If you want lower energy bills and better heat, it's just all around smarter to consider a new furnace. And yes, Premier offers financing, which makes upgrading a whole lot easier. So whether you need a tune-up or you're ready for something new, make your winter a lot more comfortable for your home or your business. Call 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
Brown & Brown Attorneys at Law want to remind you that February is Heart Health Month. Getting hurt on the job or in a car wreck is not for the faint of heart. Call now for a free consultation. 314-333-3333.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show. This Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk a little entertainment news. And we just talked to Jennifer Coffendaffer with News Nation. But did you guys see the sheriff's office investigating Nancy Guthrie's disappearance is featured on the A&E show Desert Law?
In a completely separately?
Yes, but it's a little odd.
Huh.
I don't know.
I wonder we should go watch that
And see.
and see if we like them or not.
Uh-huh. Viola Davis has written a novel with James Patterson. I feel like he does that quite a bit.
Oh, more and more as
Yes.
he's gotten older. I don't know who story ideas and let's bounce it back and forth. He's pretty good.
He is pretty good. It's called Judge Stone. It comes out March 9th, but I think she's so talented too, so it'll be interesting.
So he has so many books out, and he will tell you that he comes up with sketch ideas for stories, and then other people write them. So when he does a book with Bill Clinton, when he does a book with Viola Davis, is there a third person that we don't know that's doing the bulk
that's a
of the
good
writing?
question. That's a
You
good
know,
question.
so or is he like, I'm so busy, you guys write all these books because I'm writing the one with Bill?
I read the series, Alex Cross series, and I think he started out writing those.
And then has like a protege or a...
And now it'll be him and another name on there.
Yeah.
You get deeper into it.
Like he'll show you, CBS Sunday Morning had him on, and he's got this whole room, and he pulls out
Just files and files.
It's just little pieces of paper, and he goes, "This is the next Alex Cross book," and it's like
a nugget of an idea.
it's like a cocktail napkin.
Wow, interesting.
But I think that's the way a lot of books start.
Yeah.
Is just that idea, and it's same thing with writing a song. I think so many cocktail napkins have been used for a lyric or and if you go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or that's what they have. You know, it's pretty cool, actually.
You know, instead of cocktail napkins at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, like if you get a drink, they should give you like a Post-it notepad, so you can maybe it's lined and everything. Have you ever tried to write on a cocktail napkin?
Yes.
It's difficult.
It is.
Well, if it's wet.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if it's wet.
Then you're in trouble. Kate Hudson was recently asked what advice she'd give her younger self, and she kind of looked back at how she was discounting all the decisions she made that were also good decisions. So she says, even the mistakes and the ones that were challenging decisions that I made formed everything for who I am right now. So I wouldn't go back and do anything different. She did, however, say, one career regret, she would keep more of the clothes. Like through the time, she goes through her closet and, kind of tosses things out or donates them, and she wished she had a few of those
Actors
pieces.
and actresses that get that in their contract are really smart.
Very smart. Priscilla Presley revealed what her early days of romance with Elvis Presley were like. She said she and the King would spend every night watching movies. We saw a lot of movies, explaining that the theater would call the pair and they could request to see a certain movie, explaining they got to see them before anybody else. And she said we might see 3 in one night.
Yeah.
They just loved watching movies.
Elvis loved movies.
Yeah. ABC has renewed Grey's Anatomy for the 23rd season, which, of course, I'm happy about.
Are you? Is it still good?
Yes.
Has it been consecutive, or was there a gap?
No, it's been consecutive.
Oh, my.
Now, not the entire cast, but there are still a handful of the original cast members, which is cool. And so many crazy stories throughout the years. Did you see a dog ran onto the course during women's cross-country skiing yesterday? Now, luckily, he didn't disrupt the competition, but he did follow the 2 skiers across the finish line.
So it looked like fun.
Yeah.
Well, give him the bronze medal then.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Good call.
Well, he kind of cheated. He didn't run the whole thing.
Oh,
he snuck
yeah.
in. At
He
the,
took a cab to the finish line.
Yeah. Amanda Seyfried is listed as an executive producer on The Housemaid, but she says it was just a vanity credit. She didn't even do anything. She didn't even know it was there until about 3 weeks ago, and somebody asked her about it. And she's like, no.
Agent got it in.
That's
Smart
exactly right. New music is on the way from Lainey Wilson, and apparently, if you know her, the title makes perfect sense. She's been teasing a new single called Can't Sit Still while out on tour in New Zealand and Australia. And according to Lainey, the song is very on brand for her. She said, when I hear the words Can't Sit Still, I think of me. And she said, I think it's one of my qualities that has gotten me where I am. She said, my friends would describe me as a suitcase with legs, which is a description I've never heard of.
That's funny.
Yeah. U2 released an EP yesterday called Days of Ash for Ash Wednesday. The songs are all pretty political, covering subjects like ICE, Ukraine, and the West Bank. So it'll be for a certain audience. You know, some comedy characters are funny and some are downright evil. So here's a list of some of the most diabolical sitcom characters of all time. Tell me if you agree. Did you watch Fleabag?
I've only seen an episode of it.
Yeah.
I've got the whole series.
It's
though.
good.
Yeah.
The godmother, Olivia Colman, she's pretty...
She's a great actress.
And she is a fan.
Great
Everything
actress.
she does.
You and I have very similar
We do.
tastes.
Larry David on Curb Your Enthusiasm, right? That's a Newman on Seinfeld. Hello, Newman. Frank Burns on MASH.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he fits the bill. The janitor from Scrubs. Tammy Swanson, who's played by Megan Mullally on Parks and Rec.
Oh.
Again, one that I think
so good.
So good. Mr. Burns on The Simpsons. Danny DeVito's character, Frank, on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And then the number one most diabolical sitcom character of all time, Eric Cartman on South Park.
Oh, my gosh.
Right?
Yeah, he's terrible.
That's funny.
Let's do some birthdays.
We want to do some birthdays. Okay, Josh, I'm sorry. This is a slam dunk for Heidi.
All right, here we go.
Or did I just jinx Heidi?
You might have jinxed me.
How old is Chapel Roan?
Oh, she's young.
Oh, yeah. Great question.
I'm going to say...
Big pony club.
I'm going to say she's 25.
8.
Bang, Joshy, 28.
She's 28. Dang.
All right.
Who's the fan now?
Yeah.
Or who looked it up earlier.
No.
Terrific actor, Benicio del Toro.
Oh, so good.
What did I just see him in? He was in one of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Yeah, very bad movie. He is 59.
58.
Would you say, Josh?
9.
Bang, back to back,
Oh,
dead on.
Wow.
Man.
There'll be an investigation.
Thank you. Cheating scandal.
Used to be married to one of our all-time favorites, Heidi Klum. How old is Seal?
Seal.
And how did he lose that?
How did he?
Come on, Seal.
Kissed by a Rose. 61.
65.
Right in the middle, 63. And finally, just a tremendous actor. I've loved his whole career, Jeff Daniels.
Oh, Jeff Daniels. 71.
73.
Bang, Heidi. 71 salvage the day with Jeff Daniels. Dead on. 71.
That is your evening entertainment report here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Did you guys see, just really quickly before we go to traffic, did you see that John Irving, the author behind The World According to Garp, Cider House Rules, he has 2 grandkids that are in the Olympics right now?
I did not know that.
Burke and Sevilla Irving, brother-sister Olympic skiing duo, are in the Olympics, and they say that...
Like downhill skiing? What kind of skiing? Cross country?
I don't know.
'Cause he's a New England guy, right? I wonder if the family grew up there skiing.
Yeah.
Vermont and all that stuff. I'll have to look up what events they're in and if they've already passed so we could root them on. But they say that Grandpa texts them all the time. And
cool.
When John Irving texts, they say the grammar is on point.
I would expect nothing
and it's
less.
really long. You ever get a really long text that you have to keep scrolling down?
Yeah.
I'm
That's
guessing
funny.
That's how John Irving texts his grandkids.
Love it. All right, it's about 10 minutes before 6 o'clock. We're going to need to get one final check of traffic with Captain Paul.
Heidi, a crash on 70 East at 141 is blocking the 2 right lanes with traffic jammed back to 5th Street. Estimated clearance time is 6:10. An accident on 270 East past Riverview has been cleared. 64 East is jammed from the Poplar Street Bridge past 5570 to St. Clair Avenue. That's due to a lane closure for road work between 15th Street and 20th 25th Street in East St. Louis, and 64 East slows down from 170 to Big Bend. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Watch your favorite team, eat your favorite food. It's the Village Bar. You've heard about the world-famous cheeseburger. Stop by and check it out. Even better, bring your friends on your way to the game, after the game, or just watching the game. Food, sports, and a cold beer. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
Schrader Funeral Homes and Crematory, St. Louis's oldest family-owned funeral home, offering complete funeral, burial, and cremation services, including an on-site reception center and crematory. 150 years of serving St. Louis families. Visit them at schrader.com.
Jefferson Starship, the Runaway Again Tour. Saturday, September 26th, the Family Arena. Also featuring Atlanta Rhythm Section, Firefall, and Orleans. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Jefferson Starship, featuring Atlanta Rhythm Section, Firefall, and Orleans.
Scott, can you believe it's already been more than a decade since the Queen of Carpet sold flooring to St. Louis area contractors?
I know, but I don't have to be a king to offer contractors today's lowest prices.
Yes, contractors owe it to their customers and themselves to shop at Best Buy Flooring for the largest in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile.
Plus 3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and Metro East.
Open 7 days a week.
Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy. Best Buy Flooring.
Tune in to the Big Sports Show with Meg and Weesey every Thursday night at 8:02 for the Illini Report. Powered by Woods Basement Systems.
For up-to-date info on the Illinois men's basketball team.
On the Big 550 KTRS. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show
With Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey.
on the Big 550 KTRS.
It's time to wrap this show up with a couple randoms.
All right, before we get to the randoms proper, did you guys see that the lawsuit of the guy who said that the boneless buffalo wings
Oh, yeah.
at Buffalo Wild Wings was misleading? Judge threw it out.
Good.
I like this point, though. It should just be the chunk because it's chopped up like nuggets. So I get his point, but who cares?
Yes.
It's logging up the system.
He argued he expected deboned wings, not breaded chicken chunks. To Bob's point, chicken nuggets. And the judge ruled reasonable consumers aren't being deceived by the widely used term that's existed for over 20 years. I wonder if this guy really went in the first time and actually thought. To Heidi's point, clogging up the system. All right, there are roughly 2 billion parking spots across America. That's 7 spaces for every car.
Why can't I ever find one then?
Yeah, because they're too far away. You're looking for the close one.
Yeah, that's true. And the parking spots would cover West Virginia, the entire state. If we put them all
there'd be
in
a lot
one
of them
spot.
on the side of mountains.
Yeah. The folds in chef's hats can signify their level of experience. According to legend, the origins date back to when a chef would have 100 pleats in their hat, signifying the 100 ways they knew how to prepare eggs.
I have heard that before.
Really? Have you?
There was a significance to that.
How many ways can you guys prepare eggs?
2.
Scrambled?
Fried.
Boiled? Hard-boiled?
Yeah, hard-boiled. Poached.
Heidi, don't you do poached eggs?
I do poached.
I don't even know how to make that. I wouldn't even know how to begin.
You know what? It's really easy with all kinds of different gadgets.
Oh,
like
get
you
the
can
right
get
gadget?
get the right gadget and it makes it easier.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get a gadget.
I'm going to need to see this gadget. The world record for longest wedding veil is 23,000 feet.
Oh, come on.
That's
which is 4
ridiculous is what that is. No.
long.
How many people have to carry it?
Can you imagine being in this church? Oh, we're only on mile 2.
Yeah.
You got 2 more miles in this thing? The only U.S. capital city without a McDonald's is Montpelier, Vermont.
What?
And why?
There's one in the next town over, Montpelier, just prioritizes small businesses.
I like it.
Over chain restaurants.
Yeah, I like it.
Good for them.
How about that? And then jaguars are named after the Native American word jaguar, which means he who kills with one leap.
I believe it's pronounced jaguar.
Jaguar. And I guess the lucky guy behind the unlucky guy goes, oh, it was one leap. Poor Bob, but
man.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Shame.
Holy cow. You guys, that does it for us, thankfully, because I don't know where this show is going much longer. We'll be back tomorrow, though, starting at 3 o'clock, and hopefully you'll meet us right back here. Until then, see if you can put a smile on somebody's face.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's alright, it's alright. Bet your money all you like, it's alright, it's alright. Don't need a salt to drop you flowers, oh no. Whatever gets you through your life, it's alright, it's alright.
Get green at Jewels on Hampton. Jewels on Hampton pays the most for your precious metals, jewelry, gems, currency, antiques, and collectibles. Jewels on Hampton buys precious and semi-precious gems and stones, scrap gold, and sterling silver. Jewels on Hampton buys and sells paper money, wristwatches, and pocket watches. They even take pianos and cars. To sum up, bring your gold chains, bracelets, rings, coins, dental gold, and more to Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton Avenue in St. Louis. And get green. Online at jewelsonhampton.com.
We sell siding, windows, doors, and decking by the truckload. My name is Julius Krasanik, celebrating 53 years in this business. Our company is Wholesale Siding Depot, and our seasoned customer service group has over 200 years of combined siding, window, door, and decking knowledge. My grandson Elijah says,
"Are you kidding me?"
the brands that we sell are durable, maintenance-free, and energy-saving. Featuring Anderson, Certainteed, Viwinco, Provia, Masonite, TimberTech, and others, offering the best selection of styles and colors available in this industry. And better yet, our prices are wholesale every day. Last, our Peace of Mind initiative also includes a free contractor referral service to take care of your installation concerns or needs. You are just one click away from keeping it local, family, and professional. Please visit WSDepot.com. That's WSDepot.com.
We hear so much about quality time, but it's the quantity of time that we want. Every member of the family gets enlisted in so many activities. As quality time usurps quantity, there's so little time to enjoy the freedoms that make America the envy of the world. If we could only unplug, disengage, and spend quality time together,